She had a look out and she says, I don't think it's rained today, I think it'll rain possibly tomorrow.
They're saying possibly a bit this afternoon, late into the evening. They're saying that, but we'll wait and see. A very warm welcome to you, wherever you're listening to us from, or even watching us from. I'm John Weller with the guru, Mr. John Moffat. So he said hello to you.
Yes, hello.
Hello to Dan in the technical trailer, and back at the studio, making sure it's all working nicely and coming across your radios and TVs is Mr. Simon Abley. A very good morning, Simon.
Morning.
Yeah, all right?
I've reached that point where I'm really tired now, because I'm not good at getting up early.
You've done very well.
I think I have.
You've done very, very well.
3 days in the trot.
I know.
I've been early. I've been helping.
But it is appreciated. You should come down here first. But you think the West End car park's not far from Nevis Road. It's about a mile and a bit away when you sort of walk it.
Oh, from the station?
Yeah, from the station.
Oh, was he walking?
No.
He's
just started to hop up the road.
Yeah.
He's got to get into and everything on in there, so no, it is appreciated. So we're with you through till 11 o'clock this bright and overcast.
Slightly cloudy. It's not dingy cloudy.
It's not dingy.
Just the clouds are quite high, which is a good sign, I think.
There's a lovely reflection on the loch first thing.
And there's a wee bit of
there's a bit of blue sky.
Brightness coming through towards the centre of the town at the moment from where we're sitting, because we're not right bang in the centre of the town. We're just on the edge of it, on the edge of downtown Fort William. So it's looking nice.
Absolutely. Coming up today, we'll be trying to catch up with some of the riders.
Yeah, we'll get some riders in, and we're hoping to get Gas involved and having a look at their 2025 bike. Yeah.
I'd like to know what actually they do change, because they keep saying it's a 2025 version. What's the difference? What have you improved? What's the big breakthrough?
Well, there's a sort of long-going sort of gag going around in trials that a certain brand just changes the decals and on the mudguards and stuff, the graphics, if you like. But if you've got a good going machine and it's well proven, why change it? But of course everybody likes something new, and they like a new feature or something that works a little bit better. And I'm not quite sure. I wasn't at the launch of the new Gas. I was speaking to Richard Ellis at KTM Group before I came down here, and I forgot to ask him what have they actually upgraded on the bike, because there's always something new going on. It's a case of that the 2025 bike is being debuted this week with Laia Sanz, the Spanish rider, who's 14 times World Women's Trials champion. So she's actually out on the new model this week. So that'll be a proving ground for it. But
is it quality tested?
Quality testing, yeah.
Sort of prominence which they probably need.
Yeah, and they feed back to the factory if there's anything needed and changed before the production bikes are released to the public through the dealer network, etc. That's what will be done. So it'll be interesting to hear from the Gas people, if we can get a hold of them this morning, as to what the differences are from the 2024 bike to the 2025 bike.
Absolutely. And we'll be catching up with all the other stuff as well, like the usual features, local news. David Sedgwick will be in at 8:45.
Yep.
David Dignam, be chatting to him, clerk of the course.
Hopefully, yes.
For his daily update. And I say, where it goes, we've really got no plans. We just sit here and make it up.
Well, I'm glad you got no plans, because I've got some plans to bring out some new toys today, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, we'll wait and see whether it works first. Should we go down that one first?
Yeah, I know, but I'm like a kid at Christmas.
Just stop
like,
it.
new
Stop
stuff.
it. Stop. Calm down.
I mean, has the box been opened?
Yeah.
Is it? All right.
It's had a tentative try run on Sunday.
Oh, good. Well, I'll be doing a little bit on the Don Smith story again today, just a short paragraph from it, so that'll be quite interesting, because again it'll be featuring a local man, a local rider, and that'll be coming up later in the show.
We are brought to you by Michelin Tyres, our sponsors, Trials Magazine, Comms West, Thistle Access, Nevis Bakery, and anybody else which has helped us put this on this week.
And thanks very much to Gavin Cairns for supplying the breakfast through the Great Glen Grub Hub.
Yeah, so that's a mouthful, isn't it?
In the morning it is.
As are their bacon butties. But you'll sort of see where it goes. And back at the studio, we've got various ways you can get in contact with us.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm busy sharing links out. You can contact the studio, 01397 706 100. You can WhatsApp the studio and leave voice notes, 01397 706 100. You can email us at the studio at studio@nevisradio.co.uk. And you can find us on Facebook at Nevis Radio Official. Alternatively, you can also get this live chat on the go on YouTube. I've found my password for that now.
Hey.
Which is good. So you can get us on the live chat on YouTube, which is also Nevis Radio Official. Just go to YouTube, just type in Nevis Radio, and you can watch what's going on completely free. No sign up, no nothing. You can just watch it by clicking a link. Simple as that.
And you've got Sky Q, you can get us on there as well through Radio Play. There's an app on there called Radio Play.
And smart speakers, iOS and Android and all that stuff as well.
If you are using a smart speaker, the one which begins with A, you have to enable it first. So you have to enable Nevis Radio.
And then it should work.
When you get to it, you just say play Nevis Radio and it's fine. Simple as. So many ways.
What I've been doing is I've been putting a link to the YouTube on every evening when I've been watching the playbacks. Obviously, it's three hours long, I think it is, isn't it? 4 hours long. So people have been looking at that on the Trials Guru Facebook page as well. So it just sort of all links in together, so you can, if you've missed the show during the morning, or you're maybe living in America where it's a different time square out there, then that you can watch it later on, can't you?
And do please leave comments. We'd love to hear what you think, good, bad or indifferent. You know, we can always improve on stuff, we know that. We are a community radio station. We're not professionals by any means, but we do the best we can.
I noticed there was a
I'm kind of professional, by the way.
No, as a unit, you know what I'm saying. I know you're brilliant. You do what you do. And it's every year it's taken up an extra notch.
No, we always aim to sort of push it as far as we can. I had another piece of information for you there, and I forgot what it was now, so it can't have been important.
He must be getting older as well then, is he?
Older?
Yeah.
Every day.
Getting older.
I'm at the point now where I get off a chair and make that noise.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that. I don't do that. Oh, yeah, I sometimes get off for a chair and my legs are sore. Okay. Yeah. I thought you were talking about something else when you got off a chair and made a noise.
No, not that one. Not that one. No, the old legs get a bit sore the older you get, and they say you're in pain anyway, so you know that you had a little injury a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Still there?
Yes, I am.
Buzz then. What was that?
I think that's just a generator kicking in. It does that every periodically. No.
All right, okay.
There it goes again.
Ooh. Okay. Right, shall we do the weather then?
We're doing weather then or tune, are we?
Yeah, let's go that way.
All right then, bear with me while I just readjust everything for you. Right, weather first, and hang on a minute, it doesn't like that, does it?
The Clansman Garage in Camergale.
Go for it, just run with it.
No, wait a minute.
So who's the professional? Who's the professional here? Come on.
The guy's mucking it up.
Do you know what it is?
Can I blame someone else? Can I do that?
It's a Wednesday now. Now the bickering starts. Here we go.
Yeah. Can I blame that? Is that doable?
No, you can't. Take responsibility for your actions.
All right. Well, here we go then.
Today's weather on Nevis Radio, brought to you by Thistle Access.
Mainly dry this morning with some sunshine. Rain will reach the Western Isles around midday, spreading to the west and north by the afternoon. Elsewhere it's going to remain dry but becoming cloudy as we go into the day. Quite warm towards the east, getting up to 16 degrees centigrade across Lock Harbour, 61 Fahrenheit. This evening is going to be cloudy with rain spreading east. Rain heavy at times continuing across the west, but dry weather developing across the east as we head into early morning. Could be a mild night actually, only just getting down to 11 degrees centigrade, 52 Fahrenheit.
That was today's weather on Nevis Radio, brought to you by Thistle Access.
For the players.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Loch Harbour. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene, walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free. Rain or shine, there is always something to do. Get out and enjoy all the incredible things we have to offer right here in Lochaber.
Cause you woke up in the morning with initiative to move, so I make it harder. Think about it, so many people do be cool and look smooth. The world time has come to.
From lodges by the river, barges on the canal, or even a luxury castle, they all share the common theme of being surrounded by stunning views and incredible scenery here in Lochaber. Rest assured, we are doing everything we can to keep you safe during your stay. We can't wait to welcome you.
They've got some Nevis Radio merchandise. Go in there, say hello, we love Nevis Radio, we'd like one of the mugs please, or a coaster, key rings, I think tote bags, loads of stuff in there. So thanks so much for Gillian and the gang in there for doing that for us, and we get a small percentage that comes back to us.
Good idea. I like that.
Very welcome. So yeah, they've taken it on, so they buy it in bulk, which we can't afford to do really.
Well, merchandise is important. It promotes the brand. I mean, that's why we've got all this background behind us when you're looking at us on the videos and the YouTubes and all these fancy social media things. And that's what it's about, is brand awareness and promotion, isn't it?
Look at that new mic covers.
And the microphone covers as well, yeah, which I am displaying now. We've got it at the wrong angle, haven't I? Oh, I thought it was my radio again.
It was you moved.
Did I?
Yeah, you moved.
Oh, there you are.
God, look at the excitement. It's all happening. First rider away, 7:30 as usual.
Yes, 37, the first rider's way up the Parc Ferme here on Wednesday, 8th of May. Should we do the route?
I think we could do the route, couldn't we?
We could.
If you do the route, I'm going to pan the camera around a little bit and we'll go from there.
OK, hopefully I can hear what I'm saying, because my little radio sometimes goes a bit fuzzy. But here we go. Wednesday, the Scottish 6 Days Trial 2024. The first group of sections, Group A, there's two subs at Callart, an old favourite there. There's Callart and Callart Falls, but I'm not quite sure which one's which nowadays, because they do change things around a little bit. The first rider should be there a half an hour after the start, so he should be there about 8 o'clock this morning. Group B is three sections at Lower Mamore, an old favourite. Now, that's a spectator-friendly section. If you look at the programme, any of the sections that are marked in green are ones that are available to the public to go and watch. So Lower Mamore, the first rider's there at 8:40, which is 20 to 9. Schoolhouse Falls down at Kinlochleven. It's not accessible. It's quite high up on the hill. That's Group C, 2 sections there, and then a further 2 sections at Greymare's Tail, which is just outside Kinlochmore or Kinlochleven, as you know it. Greymare's Tail, the first rider's there at 9:30, and there is a map reference, a grid reference for that. Pipeline, well, I think most people that are into trials know where Pipeline is. It's just above Kinlochleven. It's a couple of miles walk up the hill, and if you can get up there early, it's certainly worth a watch because it's an old favourite. It was the decider in 1969 when Bill Wilkinson rode his Greaves to victory, and first rider there is at 9:40. Over onto the moors and up to groups F, G, H and I, and they are not accessible. That's Lochield Moor, used in the pre-65, but obviously alterations there to the sections. But Lochield Moor, which is Big Lochield, 10:25. Lochield Cottage, 10:45. First riders there, Cairnderg, 11 o'clock, the first rider there, and then across to Bradeleg at 11:25. A lot of pictures were taken in the years by photographers, photographs of Bradeleg. And then it's down to the fuel stop, rest stop, and then over to the lower slopes of Ben Nevis, the highest mountain in the United Kingdom, and that's Group J at 2 sections at Achentee, just up the hill from the restaurant there. There's a lot of famous pictures of famous riders at Achentee before it became a restaurant. It was a farm building. You can see it in the background in all the pictures. 12:30 the first riders there, and that's accessible by the public. And then the 4 sections sub at K, Group K, Ben Nevis itself, so that'll be in the tributaries in the birch trees at Ben Nevis, and then they move across to Glen Nevis. First riders there at 1:30, 2 sections at Group L, and then it's back to the Parc Ferme.
A nice little route, that one, I reckon.
It is.
So a good one for local spectators. Achentee is a good place to sort of go, I imagine.
Yeah, it is. It's quite a hard section, Achentee, normally. People used to say it was a world round standards, and it certainly took marks off people. It's on the sort of slope, if you like, the slopes of Ben Nevis, lower part of Ben Nevis. Just not far from the tourist track that takes you up onto the mountain itself. So, yeah, it should be quite an interesting day today.
And I say lunch stops, where's the best place to sort of have that?
I don't know where exactly the lunch stop is. I don't have the programme open, but it gives you details in the programme, I think, of where to watch itself and possibly where the lunch stops are. I think it's over this page.
Oh. Do you want a programme? The programme's still available as far as we're aware.
Yeah, here we go. No, it just tells you the sections. I mean, obviously, the caterers move around each day, obviously, because it's different routes each day. So it's only really open to the riders. Although if they do have spare grub, then you can probably buy some.
There we go. Results are in as well.
Results have just come in there by Thelma.
Thelma and Louise, as they're known these days.
Thelma and Louise, because they've got a convertible.
We'll try and catch up with Kirsten a bit later on.
They did. So that was quite interesting yesterday. I told them about it. They thought it was quite funny. But there we are.
Well, we haven't got Slapchat anyway.
Yeah, and I'll be picking a tune later on. We'll be featuring a very short feature on 1994, which is 30 years ago now.
So it's into your dance grooves and stuff like that then?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of... Oh, yeah. It was interesting to see which tune I've listed for that one.
That's what it's about. So do get in contact with us. Any requests, things you want to know about, ask John a question. We'd love to hear from you. And as I say, challenge the guru.
Yeah, you can do.
We do like in seeing here. Oh, not quite sure, but I'll look into it. And if you don't know today, you'll know it by tomorrow, I guarantee you.
I'll certainly make inquiries, that's for sure.
Any feedback at the studio? Anything we need to talk about?
No, I'm just prepping a few bits with Dan, really, if I'm honest.
Oh. So Dan's doing stuff today then?
He's always doing stuff.
The easiest job in broadcasting is just sitting in a trailer pushing buttons.
Apparently.
Is that technical, Dan?
Tech Dan.
Yeah, Tech Dan.
In the shorts. Better day for shorts today. A bit chilly yesterday.
Yeah, it was a nice day yesterday, but there was a bit of a wind chill factor, wasn't there?
Yes.
It
was cold. I got home and I was
looked
actually
warmer
cold.
than what it was, on the skin, as it were.
Got colder through the day, I thought.
Yeah,
Although
even when it was really sunny.
So today's colder than what it was yesterday.
It is. It's 9.9, I think, just now here. So it's actually a bit down.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
amazing stuff. But who knows? We're going to catch up with some of the riders. They're getting prepped now. They say first rider away in literally 8 minutes' time, and then they'll be leaving at a minute intervals until the very last rider goes. What time's the last rider sort of leave? My maths isn't very good with timings and number of riders. 280 odd.
Yeah, it's almost 300, and it's a rider a minute, so it's roughly 300 minutes after the first rider. But obviously, it gets shortened down as the week goes by if people pull out.
Yeah.
So there we have it. That's how it all works at the end of the day. So probably a little bit less than that by the time you hit Saturday. And that's why riders have got to be careful that they don't miscalculate their times, given account of the fact that people have pulled out in front of them, perhaps. So they've got to get down here early. And that's why there's a bit of a group of riders stand outside the Secretary's cabin here, waiting on their number being called. So the start officials actually call the rider's number forward, so they go in and then they get their 20 minutes to work on the bike. So
is there anybody out there you want to have a quick chat to, just sort of find out what they're doing? It's quite good for the people watching, which they might not be into trials, to see what is going on, because obviously you can do tyre pressures, you can do filters.
Yeah. There's nobody I know just off the top of my head to grab at the moment. They all seem to be beavering away, checking tyre pressures and stuff like that. I'll maybe catch a couple of them later on in the morning, I think.
We spoke about tyre pressures yesterday, and I was chatting to a guy, and he's running just a few pounds in it. Some people just, what's the average, would you say, would be a tyre pressure?
Well, I was speaking to Jimmy McCanna yesterday on Nevis Radio when we were here yesterday, and he was saying that he's running at 5.5 on the rear.
That sounds nothing to me.
It sounds nothing, but that's actually quite high. My son's normally runs 6 and 4, 6 in the front, 4 in the back. But of course, as they nip along the main road, the tyre gets warmer and the pressure builds up a bit, so they can actually go up when they're running on the road, because the tyres, obviously tyres on your car as well, if you touch them if you've been a long run, they will be quite warm.
My Dad always did that. Every time we got out of the car, we used to just try one of the tyres.
Well, what he was probably doing was just checking to make sure that they weren't too hot, because if they're too hot, that tends to indicate they're underinflated. And I believe it is an offence to run on underinflated tyres with your car, because obviously it affects the handling, it affects the steering, and it's not the first time where I've been tailing a car, and if they've pulled in for a reason, I've pulled in and say, look, I've just been watching your car, your back tyre's going down, because you can see it bulging compared to the other one. And rather than have them going off, I'd rather say to somebody, you better put some poundage in that tyre, otherwise you could have a problem, because there's nothing worse than having a blowout with a tyre on a motorway or something. That would be quite bad. So anyway, but they do run on very low pressures, but the tyres are designed that way to cope with that. But I remember when I did it many years ago, the Scottish, and we used to take a hand pump from a bicycle. I had mine strapped across the front, across the handlebars. You take that off when you come off the moors, put a few pounds in it, just so that you got a bit less rolling resistance on the road. And it did actually feel the bike was going quicker. I mean, if you push a bike about on the tarmac here with full high pressures, they're a lot easier to push than ones with low pressures, because there's drag. So it's very important to look after tyres generally, whether it be a car, a truck, or a motorcycle, especially a motorcycle, because as we were saying to the Michelin people on Monday, that there's only the handprint, there's only just the size of your hand as the footprint of the tyre on the road.
It's a very small surface area to sort of get that grip.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'd say it's a very small surface area to get that grip.
Yeah, very small surface area to get grip when you're riding on the road. But and probably even less so with these trials tyres, because they are knobbly tyres. They're not road tyres as such. But they can handle quite a bit, and they're riding over rocks all week as well, so they've got to be fairly robust for that as well.
Yeah, and I mean, some of these rocks, I'm assuming, are quite sharp as well, so you've always got that...
Well, that's what you get. That's what they're trying to avoid is on the front, it's concussion bursts, which you get like on... They're tubed on the front, you get like what you call a snake bite, which is 2 puncture holes when it hits a rock. It's just the way it works. And the back, they can be cut open by sharp rocks and then use a tubeless repair to get home or back to Parc Ferme, and then put the spare wheel on, replace the tyre you have damaged with a new rear cover, and away you go again.
And we've not really spoken, is it better to go first on a section or later on the section when things like I'm assuming like the moss and lichens which are built up over the winter get worn away from the first riders? Does that give more grip then for the...
You get more grip the later the number. That's why they rotate the numbers 50 riders a day, so that you're not got the same rider going out and having the slippery sections. Because some of the section, I was speaking to Stephen last night and he was talking about whatever group it was, and he said, oh, they're always like riding on bottles or riding on ice because they are so slippery. And once you get, well, obviously with the Scottish 6 days having almost 300 competitors, once you get 300 bikes over a piece of rock, the tyres tend to buff off the algae, and it's amazing. You can stand on the rock when there's no water on it, and it feels grippy. Once you splash some water on it, it becomes a completely different ball game. The rock then immediately turns like ice, and you can't stand in it. So you're standing on, well, trying to stand on rocks that you find are very difficult to do, so you're riding over that, but it's the momentum that carries you over the rocks. But the riders tend to take that into account when they're first men. They expect it to be slippery, and then the next day, because they've moved back to the back of the field, then it's a bit easier for them because they get up later in the morning and they're not having all the rocks to move around. It also creates a path through some of the sections, not all of them, but the ones with loose stones, it can actually pad down a path for later runners to get advantage. So it's all about advantages, and that's why they're saying, on the Saturday being a shorter route, it'll be a disadvantage for some people being a short route compared to previous years, Okay.
All very scientific, and I suppose plus you can watch the other riders going up and work out your route that way. Yes, when you're first on there, it's a bit more difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you've got 5-10 minutes, maybe even longer sometimes, waiting on a section, watching other people what they're doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you'll see lesser riders watching the stars going up. I remember I rode round with, he's dead now, he's a former world champion, Ulf Karlsson from Monteza, and I watched him most of the week because he was, I think, just a few numbers away from me. I think he was number 208 or something, and I was 216. So we were in the same sort of group, and I made up on him on the road. And whenever I got to the sections, I waited till he rode it and had a quick look, and I went, oh, see where he goes. And then I would try to emulate it. And I must admit, my riding was a lot sharper immediately after the Scottish 6 days that year, 1977, to the point that I won the Edinburgh Evening News Trial about a month later. And that, I think, was really down to watching Carlson picking different lines. And it was a bit of an education for me. It wasn't my first year in trials by any manner of means. I'd been riding for 3 years. But riding the Scottish, I maintain it brought me on. And I almost won a national Scottish trial. I think I was second. I was either second or third, but I definitely got the over 350 class, and that was the year later, and my riding had come on quite a good bit as a result. So it helped me.
Learned by experience, are they saying it?
Yeah.
Right, have we got time for a tune back there? I think Dan was going to ask you for a tune.
Yeah, I've got that lined up.
If you want to go along with that, come back to us. We'll try and catch up with maybe a rider or two. If not one of the officials, because there's quite a lot of people around here at the moment. It's got very, very busy.
Bit of a request from the other day, and also just for myself, because we know him very well. Rider 150, any chance we chat with him today?
They've been coming up in about half hour, I guess. Looking at the numbers, maybe a bit... I can see 187's got a yellow number plate. We're talking about that plate number, so that'd be looking... I'm assuming they're in front, so we'll find that out there. We've got the results now as well. I'm rambling here. It's all happening. And we'll sort of try and catch up with, some of the riders. 150.
Yeah, ideally.
Mr. Charles, is it?
Yeah.
OK, no worries.
Cool.
Walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free. Rain or shine, there is always something to do. Get out and enjoy all the incredible things we have to offer right here in Lochaber.
Cause you woke up in the morning move, so I make it harder. Think about it, so many people do be cool and look smooth. The world time has come to.
From lodges by the river, barges on the canal, or even a luxury castle, they all share the common theme of being surrounded by stunning views and incredible scenery here in Lochaber. Rest assured, we are doing everything we can to keep you safe during your stay. We can't wait to welcome you.
To move, so I make it harder. Think about it, so many people do be cool and look smooth. The world time has come to.
For the players.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Lochaber. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene, walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free. Rain or shine, there is always something to do. Get out and enjoy all the incredible things we have to offer right here in Lochaber.
Cause you woke up in the morning with initiative to move, so I make it harder. Think about it, so many people do be cool and look smooth. The world time has come to.
I'll go Thelma.
You're Kirsten.
Yes.
SSDT secretary.
That's it.
Quite a responsible job.
Yeah.
But you love it.
Fun. Yeah, good fun.
So what's this, your third year now, fourth year doing it?
This will be my 4th event. So I've been doing the job 6 years, but obviously COVID for 2 years. So
does it get easier the more you do it?
Yes and no. There's more things seem to come on and
Things change, I
totally
guess.
Fine. Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge? Before the event or actually during the event?
Before the event for me.
So much admin.
Yeah. Yeah, hugely before the event. So.
And do you take all like the riders' bookings and what they're doing? Are you involved with that?
So it's mainly just sort of organising all the sort of riders' things, but there's the whole side of observers. They stay in the hotel. All the committee, getting them into the hotel. So just there's a huge amount sort of beforehand to make.
As well as being a mum, having your lad riding as well.
Yeah, both of them. So
you got two. I didn't know that. How are they doing?
Doing great. Yeah. So still enjoying it. That's the main thing. That's all I care about.
How did you get involved with the Trials World in the first place?
Through my husband. So,
yeah, he was a rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just got interested in it, and then come along to the odd meeting, and then.
Well, it's more the case of nobody wants to do the paperwork side of things, so. I think
and you don't mind that bit of it.
Yeah, I'll be fine with that. So
we watch everyone. You come around, you sort of go through the bikes. You put the bit of red tape, which when a rider's been pulled out or they've retired. You put balloons on some bikes, which I'm assuming is birthdays.
Yeah, it was their birthday the other day there. I think we've got one today as well, actually.
And more importantly, you put the, I call it the golden number. The golden number.
Yep.
Gets
we
changed.
had 4 of them yesterday. So.
Yeah, I know. It's quite good, exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah, back to 1 today. So.
Okay, we haven't gone through the results. That's the next thing we're going to do. But I did see there's a bit of a change, but it's still very tight.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And does
that's
your
how
job,
we like it.
Yeah, I know, it's nice, and that's what it should be like. And does your job ever actually finish? Do you ever stop saying, right, that's that year done now, and straight on to the next one, or do you get a bit of a break?
So once we get sort of tidied up after the event, we've maybe got a sort of couple of months in the summer off, and then by September we're back at it again. So
it's a good job. It's a good job, though. You obviously really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fun. There's times where it's like, wow.
And you've got your compadre. She's always with you. I'm sorry, I don't know her name.
Yeah.
Give her a name check. Go on.
Where's Adrian?
She's hiding around the corner.
Louise.
Louise, that's Louise. Louise is hiding around the corner. I mean, she's your assistant, is she?
Well, just the two of us work together.
Get on well together.
Yeah.
Because that
Adrian's been around this trial for way longer than me.
I was going to say, that partnership's been going a long time.
Yeah.
That part's been going a long time. And, I mean, when you finish your job here, you just go out doing nothing, or you should get a chance, you do obviously admin right here now for what, now,
so
2
we
hours?
do all of that side of it. Like, so yesterday we had all the insurance returns to do for it. So there's loads of admin that goes on during the week. So and just keeping record if there's been any retirals, making sure that if there's any injuries and that they're all logged and reported.
Yes, you've got always the health and safety side. The paperwork goes with that, and just everything's got to be reported, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's keeping on top. Then just phone calls all day saying who's here, who's there. So and obviously working, I suppose you work quite closely with David, especially as clerk of the course. And then at night time it's back and helping with the results. So
that's good. That's changed. We were talking about that yesterday because that's really changed over the last couple of years. The way the results are brought in. A lot less bits of card and soggy bits of paper.
Yeah, there's a lot less sort of the key into it, but there's still when you've got entries being keyed into it. There's still chance for human error. Mistakes happen, so they've all still got to be checked.
And do you get many appeals? That's one thing we've never really gone into. Do the riders say, no, I didn't do that? I mean,
you get some. You get some. They come in, they email in, and let us know. All we can do is check and make sure that the observer hasn't made a key in error. Otherwise, the observer's word is final.
It's got to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. The
totally, they're our eyes, so.
Yeah, they're the experience on there, and they've got to interpret the best way they can. And we're saying, John, I was saying, everybody does it slightly different. But as long as that person does the same
consistency
on that section, then it shouldn't be a problem. Whether you agree with it or not, as long as it's fair to everybody.
Correct.
It's a tough one. We say it's a tough thing being an observer.
Yeah, definitely.
John.
Unsung heroes, so.
Okay, so
question. I don't know if Kirsten would know, but the numbers on the front of the bikes, the scanning of it, is that how's that work?
Right, we're very intrigued about this new scanning system. So I was just saying on the back, because there's obviously a little chip on the back of the number on the thing. What do you want to know, Si?
How it works?
Yeah, how does it sort of work? We've got a handheld PDA, is it?
So they're NFC, so they're chips on the back of the card, and they're basically just used for time checking in and out. So here, it's just a date and time stamp of when they leave, so we've got an accurate and we know the exact time. It's also recorded on the route card as well, but we can see, and we just know where our riders are then.
So does it give real-time scanning of where they are, like GPS?
Yeah, so these devices feed back to our results team, and they can see, so they can basically track and see where the rider is. So just from a safety kind of point of view of the rider as well, it's really good that we see that, but we have a date and a time stamp of when they leave, when they arrive back, so that...
And I suppose it's real-time scanning if there are major incidents or a hold-up anywhere which you might not be aware of.
Yep, but just for knowing delay, just all of these different... it's really handy for that. So.
No, because it's clever. And I was chatting to yesterday, John was, and they're sort of saying, it's quite an expensive... It must have been David Dignam actually saying it's quite an expensive thing you've invested into this.
Yep.
But it's a sort of worldwide thing now, a national thing where everybody's doing it.
Yep.
And it's obviously a lot more accurate in a way.
Yeah, it's the way to go. So
yeah, definitely.
It definitely is the...
And we've been commenting about your new building behind us.
Yeah,
that must be really nice.
Office. Yes, it's fabulous.
Because you weren't usually based down here. You were based in one of the hotels the other side of town, weren't you?
We still have an office up in the Ben Nevis Hotel.
Yeah.
But we work mainly out of here.
It must be so much nicer being actually where it's all happening.
Yeah, it is. It's good. But then I think just because of history, it's always been up in the hotel as well. So it's great. It works really well. It all works.
So, no, it's nice. It's a nice
People
building.
know where to come, and it's a lovely office. So.
I'm going to say, from some of the vans you've had in the past.
Yeah.
But then again, like we say, what we've done, how we've been working in the past, to have this for the last couple of years, it's been a game changer for us. So now we're well impressed the way things are sort of going a bit more upper class here.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the staff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's always good catching up with you. I know we sort of wave and say hello now and again, and here and now, but it's actually nice to see and hear what you sort of do a bit more behind the scenes. It's a very broad job you do.
Yeah.
Look at that smiley face.
We've got a good team. So
Kirsten, thank you very much indeed.
Yeah,
good. So what are you up to now then? We're doing more looking at bikes?
We'll just... I think we're done with most of them.
Yeah.
So there was nobody went out. We didn't have any red stripes to put on today, so that was good. Yep, all good.
How many out so far? Do you know? We haven't gone through that.
So we've got about 5 that have gone out.
That's quite a good percentage. What, 280 something was it?
Yeah.
That's good. All right, very good.
So yeah.
Well, thanks for having us down. We'll see you around, I'm sure. There you go. Off she goes. Busy. It's always good to see what's happening behind the scenes, because sometimes you don't realise how much it's actually involved in putting on something like this. And a lot of these people are the unsung heroes, making sure they say the right bit of paperwork's checked and done and risk assessed. Do I talk about risk assessing? Maybe not.
Well, I've done ours. It's down there.
Yeah, so I know it's in the official place. I got asked.
No, it's all done. All signed.
Yeah, I got asked the question. John's just disappeared now. John's asked for a tune, but maybe we could find another tune so he can come back and we'll talk about something else in a minute.
I'm hoping he might have gone to have a wee chat with the guys at Gas.
He has spoken to them, I believe, on the way in.
Okay.
Yeah, because we've got nothing confirmed. I think he found somebody, not the person he needs to speak to.
I can't remember the name of the guy, to be honest. But yeah.
And so we've got the results in front of us. As we hear, there is only one in front at the moment, so we've got a clear leader. And there's been a bit of a change at the top, and some of the people at the top have dropped down quite a lot, I've noticed. So there's been a bit of a shake-up.
Bit of a busy day yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a tune lined up, but you don't want to play that, is that what you're
No,
telling
because that's for John, really. So you can choose a tune. You just want to slot something else in front of that. We'll get John sorted out, and he'll come back.
I got to think.
He's taking his earphones out as well, so he's not even listening.
Okay, right. I'll tell you what, I'll play. Let's go like this. Bless Madonna, Clementine Douglas.
Sounds good to me.
From lodges by the river, barges on the canal, or even a luxury castle, they all share the common theme of being surrounded by stunning views and incredible scenery here in Lochaber. Rest assured, we are doing everything we can to keep you safe during your stay. We can't wait to welcome you.
Scottish 6 Days Trial. We'll have a quick word with one of the riders now. Rider number 131, Joe Spivey. Hi Joe, how are you doing this morning?
Yeah, we're all good, John. All enjoying the week so far. The weather's been good, so just trying to push on a bit more today and see if we can get a bit further up the results.
That's what you try to do. Now, which part of the country do you come from, Joe?
Sheffield, near Yorkshire. So.
Now, your family's well involved in trials. Your brother George rides and your mum and dad follow you all round, don't they?
Yeah, we all come up as a family this year. My brother hasn't come, but hopefully he'll be back next year, so we're all riding around together again. It'll be good.
Yeah. Now, you're riding the TRRS. Still like this bike?
Yeah, it's a really good bike. I enjoy riding it. Seems to handle the 6 days well. So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, looking forward to today's run, I presume.
Yeah, looking forward. Hopefully I can get up to Bear's Tail this year. Last year I pulled the clutch in on it, so I've got a few demons to see if I can get up it this year.
Sure you'll overcome it, Joe, so all the best for today's run.
Yeah, cheers, John, thank you.
That is Joe Spivey from Sheffield, part of the world where a lot of good trials riders come from, and Joe's just doing a bit of maintenance on his bike. He's checking the radiator at the moment, as you can see on the live cam, just making sure that the coolant is up to the right level. And he's put a new tyre on for today, so his spare wheels here going away. That'll probably have a new rear cover put on it at night. And as I said, his mum and dad support him here, and his brother's a rider as well, George. So it's a family affair.
Yeah, the trials world is a family affair. I've noticed that there's always somebody else, which somebody knows somebody or worked with somebody, and it's always through the family.
Yeah, absolutely right, and it is a family sport. In fact, that was one of the things that the gentleman that I've been talking about this week, Don Smith, was very, very keen on. He predicted many years ago, back in the 70s, that trials would take on a more family-orientated side of things, and that has come true as well. It used to be very much an individual, you know, and it was male-dominated, let's be honest about it. And when I say male-dominated, there was more men than women rode trials back in the day, back in the 50s and 60s. But Don saw an opportunity to try and get it more family. You know, the father rode, and the kids would start, whether that be boys or girls. In fact, in Don Smith's book, Ride It, one of the first real good books on trials, he actually had his daughter Amanda featured in the book, riding his works Kawasaki, or sitting on the tank sort of thing, to encourage the youngsters to become involved, whether that be a boy or a girl. And certainly that has taken off over the last few years. I can say quite hand in heart that's happened.
That's very good indeed.
Yeah.
And we talk about sort of, it is still male dominated, whichever way you look at it, because it's a very physical sport. Even you said you'll struggle to do this now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just because of fitness.
I think your upper body strength has a lot to do with it, and historically, you know, females have got less upper body strength than males. Yeah. But it's all down to individuals, how you're made, how your makeup is. I mean, Laia Sanz, very strong woman, physically fit, and you know, does well, it's not called Paris-Dakar now, it's the Dakar Rally, and she's done that many times. You've got to be really super fit for that sort of thing, you know, riding through sand dunes day after day after day. And Emma Bristow as well. You watch her on a bike, she's as good as any guy, there's no two ways about it. So it's really just the numbers game. There's more men in it than women, but it's not a case of it's a new thing, women riding. Actually, on my website, there's a column in there, or a page in there, I should say, which is Trials Ladies. And it features women in trials away back to the 1920s. In fact, the first Scottish 6 days trial was almost like a team event. It was a 5-day trial, in fact, and there were women riding then on motorcycles. And it was kind of frowned upon even to have a motorcycle as a lady back then. But certain ones were individuals, and they're quite strong-willed, and they ignored what the parents said, and they took up riding. And one of the famous riders back in the 30s was Miss Marjorie Cottle. She was a fantastic woman. She rode for factories. She rode for BSA. She rode for Sunbeam, and I think at Rudge at one time as well, I think. And she rode in the International 6 days trial with the British teams. And she was one of the people, one of the riders, I should say, who had to escape in 1939, the International 6 days trial. War was about to be announced, and it was actually the war was declared during the event, and she had to escape via, I think it was Switzerland, to get back to Britain. It was one of these things, you know, they talk about the film The Great Escape with Steve McQueen. Well, this was The Great Escape, because the British Army had tipped them off during the night and said, right, tomorrow, when you're going on this run, you go here and here and go to the checkpoints, and then you immediately get off the course and then ride to make for Switzerland. That was it. And they did get away, but it was touch and go, and Marjorie Cottle was involved in that. So it just shows you the history of trials. Scottish 6 days as well. I've got a nice picture of her on Town Hall Brae, or Rocky Brae as they know it here. Marjorie Cottle on her Works BSA, and that was a pre-war picture that I managed to get years ago. Don't know who took the picture, but it's one of these sepia ones, you know, that's looks period as well. So there we have it.
Well, so I'm going to catch up with Emma later in the week as well, find out more about the what's she riding, Sherco?
Sherco, yes, she's involved with the brand Sherco now directly, because the importership changed last year, and her husband and her, James Fry, are heavily involved with the importation, distribution, I should say, of Sherco motorcycles. It's all changed now in the trials world. I mean, Glassgas is owned by KTM Group, and they have their own importership, KTM UK. They bring all the bikes into the country, where before it used to be John Shirt that did that. So John Shirt's gone back to being a dealer situation, John Shirt's motorcycles, and KTM are brought into the country through the factory importership, and it's similar with Sherco as well. They've changed over to that system, so they are actually promoting the brand through the dealers at this point in time. Okay,
very interesting. I know we've got that tune lined up for John. Would that take us up to the news? It's about 4.5
Well, minutes. If you talk for about another minute.
I'm going to say it's about that sort of time. So we've got your tune lined up, Bruce Springsteen.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll do that up to the news. We've got about a minute to go. When we come back, we'll have a look at the results.
Yeah.
So we touched on them. And we just need to thank our sponsors again. I'm trying with the teeth today. Thank our sponsors again. Michelin Tyres, Trials Magazine, Comms West, Thistle Access,
Nevis Bakery.
And who else? Great Glen Grubhub.
That's right. For
I'm never going to get that one.
Which is financed by, our breakfast is financed by Gavin Cairns Rough Casting Limited.
Gavin's not doing very well. I've looked on the results.
Oh yeah.
Gavin's not doing too well.
But he's getting round.
He's getting round. He's still there.
Yeah.
He's still there. He did lead, as you said, for what, 15 minutes?
Yeah, about half an hour.
But no, that's the way it goes. But we look at the results, look at the best Scottish, best ladies and everything else like that.
Yeah.
Then give an update on the route as well. But it's not too bad weather-wise. So we're with you through to 11 o'clock. It is Nevis Radio, live and exclusive. If you want to get in contact with us, there's various detailed ways you can do that. WhatsApp, 01397 706 100, and all the other ways, which I cannot remember off the top of my head. This is your song. Do you want to introduce it?
Oh, yes. We're looking at 30 years ago this year. 1994, the Scottish 6 days trial was won by none other than Dougie Lampkin, riding a 250 Beta. It was his first one at the Scottish 6 days trial, so he was emulating his late father, Martin Lampkin, who'd won it 3 times, but he went on obviously
lodges by the river, barges on the canal, or even a luxury castle. They all share the common theme of being surrounded by stunning views and incredible scenery here in Lochaber. Rest assured, we are doing everything we can to keep you safe during your stay. We can't wait to welcome you.
To move, so I make it harder. Think about it, so many things do be cool and look smooth. The world time has come to.
For the players.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Lochaber. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene, walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free. Rain or shine, there is always something to do. Get out and enjoy all the incredible things we have to offer right here in Lochaber.
Cause you woke up in the morning with initiative to move, so I make it harder. Don't hold back. Think about it, so many things do be cool and look smooth. The world time has come to.
From lodges by the river, barges on the canal.
Parc, they're giving biscuits away, I saw.
Yes, it is shortbread from Nevis Bakery.
Was it well received?
I think it was well received. I think they were wondering what I was giving them.
Yeah, it's very difficult giving people stuff for free.
Yeah, because they thought it was some sort of illegal substance or something, I suppose. But it's not. It's
That's your other job.
Shortbread Fingers by Nevis Bakery. Thank you very much to Archie Patterson, the CEO of the Nevis Bakery. His son Paul has ridden the Scottish 6 Days many times, but he's not riding trials anymore, I believe. So there you go.
Things move on. It is Nevis Radio, live and exclusive from Parc Ferme. It's day 3, Wednesday the 8th of May. VE Day as well today.
Is it?
It is indeed.
Heavens, well that's good. So, Celebration Day as well. So was it how many years would that be? 1945?
45, yes.
So we're almost 80 years, but 1 year, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be.
12, 45, yeah, 79 years ago. Wow.
Be. I know, amazing.
Blimey. Before my time, of course, but yeah, I'm sure there's still people out there remember VE Day, I'm quite sure.
Absolutely.
Going on to the results now?
We could do the results now if you would like to do the results now.
Why not? Results after the Tuesday, the second day of the Scottish 6 Days Trial 2024. We'll look at the Scottish riders, Scottish national riders. In the lead at the moment is Kinlochleven, originally from Kinlochleven, now at Corpach. Gary MacDonald on the Scorpa, he's on 7 marks lost. Second position is Jamie Galloway on 17. Then third place from Roy Bridge is Ben Dignan. He's on 20 marks lost. Duncan McCall from Les Mahago, he's 22 marks lost. Malcolm Summers, who rides under the Army, 42 marks lost. Callum Murphy from Ballaghoolish on 58. Followed by Lewis Byron from Glasgow on 65. I think it's Milton Campsie he lives. On 85 marks, it's Alan Ian McMaster, local lad from Fort William. Then Robbie Weir, formerly based in Haddington, now Kinlochleven, I believe, 85 marks as well. And in 10th position, the chap who have just managed to accept my gift of shortbread, Gareth Palmer, in 10th position on 96. And if I flick this over, hopefully it lands at the right bit at the start. Yes, it does. The main part of the trial, the leader of the trial is number 187 on the Scorpa, which is Dan Peace on 3 marks lost, followed by his brother Jack. Oh, sorry, not his brother at all. Jack Price. I always get this mixed up. Price and Peace. It's dead
both
easy
next to
do.
each other, aren't they?
And they're next to each other. So you got in the first position Dan Peace, second position Jack Price on 4 marks lost. Then comes Jack Peace on 4 marks lost, same as Jack Price. That gets tongue-tied. Fourth position is crept up the leaderboard, if you like. In fourth position, 14 times winner, Dougie Lampkin on the Vertigo on 7 marks lost, equaling the score of fifth position man and leading Scotsman Gary MacDonald on 7. That's going to be interesting towards the end of the week. Then comes one of the Hemingways. The Hemingway family, its own dynasty of trials riders. Harry Hemingway, who's a past world champion last year, a junior world champion, 6th position on 11 marks lost. Richard Sadler from Leyburn in North Yorkshire, very good rider is Richard, on 11 marks lost in 7th position. Then comes Michael Brown. A guy who's actually come very, very close to winning this trial. He's been second a couple of times, I believe, on 13 marks. Michael Brown's in 8th position. Then comes Toby Martin, leading the best first-timers as well in the Monteza 4RT, 9th position on 14, it looks like. Then in 10th position, Thomas Minta on the Scorpa. He's on 15 marks lost. So that's the top 10 here at the Scottish 6 Days Trial.
How are you doing with your in-ear monitoring? You are struggling this morning, aren't you?
Yeah, it's. I think it might be something to do with where I'm sitting. It's right behind the. Yeah. I'm sitting right behind the secretary's cabin, and whenever I move the microphone, I get a hiss in my ear, and I can't hear what you're saying, and you're only like 2 feet away, and I've got to take the earplugs out so that I can hear what Simon says. Well, no, so I can hear what you're saying, and then if Simon says something...
Someone says stand up. You've done it, you see, it works.
It works perfectly. I'm sitting in the wrong position, so I don't know what's actually interfering with it at all.
It's just got to be the metal container behind us.
I think so. So if Simon was to talk now, I can hear him, but if I sit back down, it's just a blur, and I'm looking at John Weller, wondering what he's making funny faces at me
Most
for.
people look at me like that's fine. We are in Parc Ferme. We're waiting for rider 150, which isn't far away. We're up to about 143. Have been tinkering, so we're sort of getting quite close to that.
150, yeah. See, if I turn around and look at the bikes, it then goes fuzzy. If I look back at you, it goes, it's clear as a bell.
Are you dancing there? What are you doing?
You thought I was doing some sort of rotation, didn't you?
We did the twist, everybody.
I did.
Come on, everybody.
Yeah.
He's waving at people now.
I don't know. I don't know if she's waving at me or waving at you.
What did you have for breakfast? Come on, you got like ants in your pants this morning.
Breakfast? No, I had a double Weetabix and milk. I had a scrambled egg, bacon and black pudding and mushrooms.
Rumour has it you have 3 Weetabix at home.
No, that's just a rumour. I wouldn't take 3 Weetabix.
Full cream milk, semi-skim milk?
It was full cream milk, but funnily enough, I tend to nowadays take oat drink instead. Because I was told to, not to stick away for dairy products, just to don't take full fat milk, but to go down to the red top stuff, it's like water, isn't it?
I don't know, I don't have cereal.
You don't have cereal. Well, no, even in tea and things like that.
I don't mean tea.
No.
So I don't really drink milk.
I've tried to kind of cut down on that, but no, I don't know. People will tell you that oat milk's made of all sort of stuff. It's not called milk, actually. I don't think they're allowed to call it milk now, actually, because it's not milk. And it's obviously made from oats. So I thought oats was good for you.
I just don't put milk on my cereal.
I actually make porridge when I'm at home, sort of instant porridge with this oat drink, and it tastes really creamy. So it's probably bad for me, because if anything that tastes good is probably bad for you.
That's what they say, isn't it?
Aye, and anything that tastes rotten, they think, oh, that's very good for you. Oh, right.
So the dietary requirements of Mr. John Moffat for his breakfast, that's all you need to know. And do you put sugar on your Weetabix?
No, never.
Never?
Never. Same with porridge. I don't put salt or sugar. I don't put anything in porridge.
Or...
Not even honey. I have done it in the past, but everything that I put on the porridge to make it taste even better is bad for you, because it would be sugar. Type 2 diabetes. So you've got to be kind of careful on things like that, I suppose, yeah.
I've never been in, I can't stand salt in my porridge, I must be honest. I've never been I'm more of a sweet person, but I don't have my porridge yet.
A lot of the older hands say that salt really brings the flavour out in porridge, but I've never really found that. And sugar, well, you're just adding more sugar to your diet. It's not a good thing. I mean, that's what the health specialists are all talking about now, is we're eating far too much sugar, and then the meals taste bland as a result of not putting salt in it, because salt's not good for your heart and blah, 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 blah. So, it's very, very tricky finding that nice balance.
It is that balance. It's always that balance. Well, we're going to catch up with Charles very shortly. I guess we've got to do the weather.
We do. I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure if Charles is going to be there Rider 150. He's messaged me to tell me he's out. So I don't know if he's riding for no award, or if he's like out. He hasn't replied.
We've not seen him yet. So 143 there, sort of at the back. That's the numbers that's the numbers we can see. They're just getting close to the starting area, so they've probably got about 5-6 minutes, something like that. But we're going to have a look out that way. We do the weather. Probably a tune. Do we need to catch up?
We could do the weather tune and then get the adverts on.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay.
Tune. What tune should we have? I tell you, we've not played Jubel yet.
Oh, you're going for
Klingonde.
Klingonde, right, okay. Yeah.
Bit of dirty sax on a Wednesday morning. John Moffat, don't pull those faces.
Someone's got to. Okay, right, weather time.
Today's weather on Nevis Radio. Brought to you by Thistle Access.
Mainly dry this morning with some nice sunshine. Not yet down here, there's not. Rain will reach the Western Isles around midday, spreading to the west and north during the afternoon. Elsewhere, staying mainly dry and becoming cloudy throughout the afternoon. It's going to be quite warm towards the east and getting up to around 16 degrees centigrade, 61 Fahrenheit. This evening is going to be cloudy with rain spreading east. Rain heavy at times, continuing across the west, but dry weather developing as we head into the early morning. A mild night, just 11 degrees centigrade, not bad at all, 52 Fahrenheit.
That was today's weather on Nevis Radio. Brought to you by Thistle Access.
Common theme of being surrounded by stunning views and incredible scenery here in Lochaber. Rest assured, we are doing everything we can to keep you safe during your stay. We can't wait to welcome you.
Cause you woke up in the morning with initiative to move, so I make it harder. Think about it, so many things do be cool and look smooth. The world time has come to.
For the players.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Lochaber. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene, walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free. Rain or shine, there is always something to do. Get out and enjoy all the incredible things we have to offer right here in Lochaber.
Cause you woke up in the morning with initiative to move, so I make it harder. Think about it, so many things do be cool and look smooth. The world time has come to.
Saying how nice the branding looks.
I'm very pleased with those.
Yeah, we're talking about merchandise and things like that, and how expensive things. I know these weren't particularly cheap.
No, that's right. All these things that brand promotion, they can be quite expensive, and of course the companies that make them know that a lot of these things are actually bought by big corporations, and yeah, it's quite difficult to source these things from time to time.
Yes, it is.
Well, the company who made them are actually in France, but they make them for a lot of TV and radio places. Yeah, I like them. They're just quite expensive.
Yeah, I'm having to stand up now to hear what you're saying. It's crazy. If I sit down and you're talking and I've got this microphone worked up, whatever happens, it interferes with my little radio, so I've had to stand up to listen to you.
Shame. It is a shame. I've got nothing
I don't
to
even
say.
know what to say to that.
I've got nothing to say. That's why I thought, oh dear. Yeah. All the years we've been doing it, and it still doesn't get much better.
Well, not with my radio, it doesn't. I don't know whether I get another radio. I think I bought it locally one year. They used to give me one.
That's probably when Curry's was in town.
Yeah, I think it
probably was, yeah.
Or no, I think it was another place, Argos. Are they still here?
Yeah, we can't talk about them.
All right. I'll not talk about them then.
They don't pay us any money.
Not because they're a bad company, we just know it's branding.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Got to be careful.
You've dropped a few in already this morning, we just let them go, we just think,
On that, if anyone is listening, you do want your brand out there or your company out there, get in touch. Drop me an email at sy@nevisradio.co.uk and we could sort you out with an advert.
Other retailers are available, of course.
Not radio ones around here, there isn't.
No. And if you're looking at the YouTube and you get the little adverts going while the music's going, that's because copyright infringement. We have to be careful. We can't play the music. Although we're fully licensed, YouTube don't like us playing music, so that's why we play Zoom commercials. And you think, well, they look quite cool. They're going to get in contact. Maybe you've got a company like one of those running every time we play music, which is about 3-4 times an hour.
Yeah, that's right.
During the 6 days, then obviously you get quite a lot of coverage through that. And we've got the Chamber of Commerce doing their one at the moment, which you were talking about on Monday.
And
yeah, we'll maybe get Joe Bo's adventure back on later on today. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's really...
Yeah, when people are looking at these things later on as well, they can be, 6 months down the line, they'll be looking at your advert. That's how it works.
They're on there forever.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube forever.
That's right.
Scary thought.
Stuff.
There's some went down the mortal tracks of history. They'll be saying, who are those people? What do they think they're doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
They might say, blimey, they're good. How do they do that?
I have no idea.
Have you got anybody out that you want to go and say hello to?
No, your 150 doesn't seem to have come forward.
Charles, what happened? Do we know what happened with Charles? Did he say?
Pardon?
No, he's not messaging me back. I don't know.
No, I don't see him. I've seen number 149s lined up, 157, but no 150. I don't even see 150, the bike itself. So maybe he's taking his bike home. I'm not sure. Dougie Lampkin's just coming into the paddock now, so he's obviously doing a little bit of prep, but he's quite far away.
Is he up the end there?
He's up the top side. You wouldn't be able to get him on the camera, I don't think.
Maybe not.
Well, we could if we had the wireless stuff rigged up.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, but by the time you wire it up, I think he'll be gone, as it turns out. But it's, as I say, it's a nice dry day today. It's the weather's fairly good. Can't complain. It's still quite bright, isn't it?
It's not bad. No, it's not bad at all. It's better than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
It wasn't looking too good the other day on this, getting on to Wednesday and Thursday, looking pretty grim.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not grumbling too much, to be honest.
No, but sometimes the weather can change. You get these flood alerts from SEPA come through your phone, and then after a wee while it says that things have improved.
There's one on Monday, wasn't there? There was a flood alert on Monday.
Yeah, that's right. I got it on my phone. SEPA put one out, the Great Glen and Easter Ross or something, and then it said improving weather conditions, flood alert, step down, I suppose. So, yeah, that's it.
I'll get like storm alerts through SSE because I have a CPAP machine.
Oh, yeah.
Which I use at night and that, and if electricity's going off, then they try and let me know, say I can make arrangements, or they try and bring me a little bit of power up so I can do it. It's quite clever.
Yeah, well, there you have it.
Now and again, it's not needed at all.
No.
Thank you to all these organisations as well, because we haven't really mentioned the police. I mean, they're obviously involved in this week as well. They bring only extra motorcycles. I think there's 3 riders up.
Yeah, they bring a team of riders down from Dingwall. That's where the police bikes are stationed. So they come down for Dingwall for the week, and they just make sure that everything runs smoothly and keeps the traffic flows going.
That's right. I'm just getting faces all over the place. Yeah, no, but it is important. It's a huge undertaking. Obviously, it increases the risk factor of what could happen in the area.
Yeah, well, that's right. There's a lot of traffic moving around, and of course, motorcycles on the public highway this week. And what the police try to do is they make sure that if you're parking at the side of the road, all 4 wheels are off the road to park. And that just allows, the trucks and everything to move around, because obviously there's logging trailers and all sorts of heavy goods transport moving around the area. And when people park at the side of the road, if they're parking on both sides of a road, it makes it really narrow for a heavy goods vehicle to negotiate that sort of traffic parked up. And the police move people on for very good reason. So we always comply with what the police officer said. If he says don't park there, you could park somewhere else, simple as that. But of course everybody likes to get as close to the sections as possible. And I used to go around with somebody and they would try and insist to park literally at the begins cards of the section. Say, well, you can't really park here, there's cones. Oh, but we're only going to be a couple of minutes. No, you're not, because if your rider takes 10 minutes to get you, it's not a couple of minutes. So I used to get quite annoyed at that. And I would say, well, no, park a wee bit down the road and take a wee bit of a walk, or get there earlier, and that's it. But certain places are difficult to park. I mean, likes of Witches Burn, it's a very narrow road to go to Lochcarcaig and Achnacari House, where the Clan Cameron Museum was. And it's tricky.
It's a lovely area, but it's not. It wasn't designed for.
Wasn't designed for that. It's a wee bit like your North Coast 500. You know, it was never designed to take the traffic flows that we're now getting in the north of Scotland, and the infrastructure has been lacking for many years because, well, people just didn't go and en masse to these areas, and that's the challenge for all the organisations that look after these places. You know, the local councils and.
Just mentioned Glenfinnan, you know, this time of year with the tourists and the Harry Potter trade, it is chaos around there.
Yeah, it's brought the tourists in. Yeah, and the car parks have been extended a couple of times, I think, down there, and they're still not big enough to cope with the traffic parking up. And it's a bit of a challenge, isn't it?
It is indeed. Is it worth having a quick look at that route before we go for the local news, maybe?
Yep, we can do the local route. If I can turn it back in, hold on. My little clipboard that is many, many years old, supplied by Castrol Oils, would you believe?
I wouldn't believe it, no.
No, I don't even know if they're called... they're still called Castrol. Here we are, Wednesday the 8th of May, 2024 Scottish 6 Days Trial. Should be up on the screen now, and there it is. The first group of sections, 2 sections at Calart. First rider was there at 8 o'clock, so you'll be probably on to about 20 or 30 riders going through now, almost, I would imagine. But that section isn't really accessible. It's way up in the hill in the Mamore Mountains. Then you come to Lower Mamore, which is 3 sections. Group B, our first rider will be there at 8:40. That's about 15 minutes time, hopefully. The first man will be there. Then we'll have Schoolhouse Falls. They're inaccessible. 2 sections there. First rider will be there at 9 o'clock. And at 9:30 we go over to the first 2 accessible ones at Greymare's Tail. That's Group D. Group E is Pipeline. An old favourite there. First rider will be there at 9:40, just an hour and a quarter from now. Then they move across the hill, covering Lochield Moor, Lochield Cottage, Carnderg, and the old favourite Bradeleg. But of course, albeit Bradeleg, it's possibly not the Bradeleg that riders know, because they move that section around a bit in that valley. Then over to the fuel stop, lunch stop. And then it's down to Achentee, which is on the lower slopes of Ben Nevis. First rider will be there at 12:30. 4 sections on the Ben itself. Again, the lower slopes of the Ben. They don't go right up Ben Nevis, obviously. First rider's there at 12:50. And then finishing off the day, Group L, final group of the day, 2 sections at Glen Nevis. First rider there at 13:30.
Has a trials bike ever gone to the top of Ben Nevis?
Yes.
Quite a long time ago.
I'm trying to think. I don't know when the first trials bike went up, but I know that Sammy Miller and Jeff Smith. Jeff took a factory BSA trials bike, and Sammy decided to take an aerial. It was either an aerial Arrow or an aerial Leader. I think it might have been an aerial Leader because he rode aerials, and he decided to take one of these road bikes up Ben Nevis. And then local riders have taken bikes to the top of the Ben. I know that one year Alistair McGilvray from Muirsherlich did it, and he rode it feet up. He never actually touched the ground all the way up the Ben. Wow. So that was a bit of an achievement in itself. And then in the 60s, there was clubs, the Lochaber and the Edinburgh Southern mounted a couple of teams together to ride up to the top. which included local riders Ali and Hugh MacDonald and Ron Thompson, amongst others, to go to the top of the bend. Then it became a situation where obviously they started putting footpaths in, gates, stiles, and they were actually dissuading riders locally from taking bikes up the top of the bend, because there's been all sorts of attempts to go up Ben Nevis. You know, they found a piano up there, I think, at one time, didn't they? And a bed, an old bed. Somebody decided to take an old bed up there, and but unfortunately they seem to leave these pieces of equipment. It's one thing doing something for charity and taking a bed up, but at the end of the day, you should really take it home, shouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to take it out there, bring it home, like your banana skins.
Yeah, that's right. Aye. Well, beds aren't biodegradable, are they?
Well, it depends.
Oh, does it? I see. If Simon talks
probably
now...
more than banana skins, they say.
Well, possibly.
Someone thought a banana skin would just degrade quite easily, it doesn't, apparently.
Yeah.
Weird.
So that's strange. It. So, what happens next then?
We have got David Dignam hovering around the corner.
Yeah, we do.
I know we've got local news coming up very shortly. We did this yesterday. It seems to be 8:30. David Dignam comes in for a chat. But I think that's the plan.
I see, right. And
unless you just want to do the local news now and then fit him after?
I can do local news and come straight back to you.
Local news, come straight back.
I'll do.
That will make more sense.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
From 96.6 to...
For the players.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Lochaber. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene, walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free. Rain or shine, there is always something to do. Get out and enjoy all the incredible things we have to offer right here in Lochaber.
Cause you woke up in the morning with initiative to move, so I make it harder. Think about it, so many things do be cool and look smooth. The world time has come to.
Wave at them. I've got Deborah, camera operator, down here, joined us for today, which is very grateful. Dave Greaves has been down for the last few days. He's out and around. Hopefully catching up with him a bit later on as well. So lots of things happening. Dave Sedgwick will be in the studio very shortly to do Thought for the Day. But I'm just trying to fill time while we're looking for the clerk of the course, who's going to do his daily sort of debrief in a way and have a chat with us here. Let us know what's happening. Anybody there? Anybody there?
Well, I can see John Moffat chatting away on the camera there. If people do want to get in touch today, you can contact the studio 01397 706 100. You can WhatsApp us on the exact same number. That's 01397 706 100. WhatsApp's obviously free, but it does use your data, so bear that in mind. And you can send us voice notes that way as well. If you'd like to email us, studio@nevisradio.co.uk, or you can get us on Facebook at Nevis Radio Official, and Nevis Radio Official also on YouTube, where you can watch everything live and free.
There you see, things have changed. We're live. Sitting down, relax, this is more comfortable. David Dignam, Clerk of the Course, 6
Morning.
days trial.
How are you?
You on?
I think so.
You're on now.
Yes,
How are
sir.
you doing?
Yes, fine.
Any major breakthroughs throughout the day?
We're day 3.
Day 3.
We've got no crisis.
Good.
We have 1 or 2 dramas.
The dramas?
But anyway, no, it's fine.
How can we not talk about dramas?
Nah.
Not any drama queens?
That's not for me to say.
We're saying how few retirals or people who are sort of dropping out. It's about 5 now, I understand. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're just, myself and Kirsten were just speaking there, just going through. We had 4 no shows, obviously, at the start.
Yeah.
And then we've had sort of 5 pull out for various reasons. Some of the mechanical bike issues, and then some other just injuries to the pilots.
You're saying how strenuous this job is. We're talking about, the ladies being involved against the gents and that, but it is a very strenuous sport, isn't it? People, you're just not sitting on a bike riding around the road.
Well, of course it is. It's one of the hardest of our, events in the world. So you don't come here or you shouldn't come here without being prepared. Right. And if you do, well, then the consequences are there to be had as such, and it's naturally a endurance test. Yeah. So therefore, you have to be prepared, like any sport or anything in life.
But people think it's endurance from the machine, but it's more endurance for the rider. I think it's I say from day one, if you're not prepared for it, it's going to catch you out and bite you in the proverbial.
Absolutely, and the boys that know what they're coming to, and still haven't prepared themselves as such, then they know what they're coming into. Yeah. And it's a hard week. Yeah. There's no doubt about it, and I don't apologise for that. It is meant to be a test. There is a fine line between a test and
insanity.
Insanity, yeah. if they want to put it like that, yeah, absolutely. And we don't always get it right. Sometimes you get it wrong unintentionally. Yeah. And you do change things. Okay, that worked, that didn't work, and I think the biggest thing for me as a second year is that you look at something and if I look to change it, then I've got to have a good reason. Why am I changing it? Yeah. Why am I doing this or why am I doing that? So that's the biggest thing.
No, it's got to be a challenge. Yeah, to mix it up a little bit, but don't go too extreme, I guess, because you've got people some riders are going to be expecting what's going to be there, so you can't do a dramatic change, I'm assuming.
Well,
or you can.
Well, so at the end of the day, you're putting an event on, right? That event is to go around, 6 days of
a world-class event.
World-class event. You put a world-class event on. You have 6 days, to go around a course, that covers observation, endurance, and reliability. Yeah. So whether that's the same every year, whatever, I think we would love to put something different on every year or whatever. But ground and permission, that's the work that's involved in that is.
I was going to come on to that because we always talk about the right to roam. That's sort of you can go anywhere you want, but not with a machine with 2 wheels and an engine.
No, and this year we've had 1 or 2 of sort of riders or sort of not support that spectators thinking that they can access areas just because the trial's there. Yeah. If you arrived or if you come 1 month, further on, then you will not get access into that. Yeah. So what gives them, or why do they think they can get access now during this week? So that's always a difficult one. It's a balance because, as I keep saying, we have every year we have 70 to 80 riders, new riders. Yeah. So they're here now for the first time. Yeah. And I know that I've been sort of pulling up various sort of support vans, spectators, and that this is their first time. Yeah. So I know when I go around the circuit with my son, and sometimes it's our first time at certain places. So the etiquette is different everywhere you go.
And we talk about landowners. How many are we looking at through the week? I mean, it's a big area. I mean, roughly what sort of how many sort of permissions do you need approximately?
Well, running around about the 40 or 50,
that's a fair chunk.
As well. But not only that, but you've got landowner, but you also have then private. If you're going into some areas, you have dwelling houses. It's small houses that obviously you've got people who are not directly involved in the permission, but we do then affect.
Yes.
I mean, I was round at Argower yesterday, and we were going in the back of Ewan McLean's place. one of the residents sort of was very kind, going thinking, should I come out or should I not? You know, and you know, so we affect, you know, not only the landowners, but we affect the residents around Le Havre itself.
And possibly business. We're talking about the postal people and things. You know, it slows things up generally. It's just the nature of the beast in a way.
Well, the post, the post, whatever. But I mean, the great one is down Loch Shield side, where we have Pauline, and I communicate with her, and yeah, we always communicate and tell them what we're doing, and they're very accommodating. I've got to say, you know, there's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
So you know, it is about a good compromise.
Yeah.
I always say to people, it's 4 to 5 hours of mayhem on whatever day or whatever part of that day, and you know, it's quite interesting, and it's surprising how many people I'm still meeting out on the course that don't know what the event is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that I would stop and talk, and again, you know, see what they feel and all that.
Yeah, not everybody's going to embrace it. Nobody's going to quite understand it. You got you got not just the extra people, you've got extra noises. There's a lot of stuff goes on with it, and you know, and on a Sunday where I live, you know, you get these bikes going all the way up through the morning while they're just doing a little run out, and I've got to be honest, it annoys me. Yeah, but. What it brings to the area.
That's a lovely sound.
Great bikes. I like bikes, but when you're on a Sunday morning, you're just having your breakfast, down the road. It can annoy certain people. I know I've got a mate. He's moved out of the area now, but he just said, "I hate it." He said, "How do you put up with it?" I said, because it's somebody's sport. It's it's what it does, it's what it brings to the area, and you know, it's just a whole thing. You know.
Yeah. But look, I mean, you know, I live up at, you know, sort of out past Roybridge there, and on a Sunday morning or whatever it is, you know, there's a whole entourage of road bikes hurling up and down the road, you know, out for their Sunday jaunt from the Central Belt. Yeah. It's noisy. It's what it is, and you know, sorry, I'm gonna.
All right.
But yeah, look, we all have to be, you know, we all have our interests, and we all have to be accommodating throughout, you know, and in and around Le Havre, you know, again, it's denoted as the outdoor capital of the UK, as we'll call it. So yeah, we've got a lot of different interests, a lot of different, you know, people with, you know, opinions, that type of thing. So, yeah.
I suppose another big thing is the environmental impact too. I mean, so at me, it seems a fairly clean sport compared to what it was maybe 10 years ago. It has cleaned its act up on certainly even recycling things. We talk about the Michelin tires, we talk about everything else, the oils, the lubricants. A lot of that now gets recycled, which is fantastic. But actually, I've been told after about a month or 2 months after the trial, it's been out there, you don't even know anyone's been there. It just the moors come back to, you know, where the tracks have worn through, and you just don't know it's there.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the right end of the growing season.
Yeah.
You know, we're at the start of it, so therefore, you know, any recovery is going to be maximum. Obviously, this nice weather helps us on the ground, and we work really closely with Nature Scott and many other agencies through that. So we are doing environmental impact studies, you know, pre and post event. If you go up Glen Nevis today, it's, you know, there's a lot of tape, channeling bikes where they should be, where they shouldn't be, or keeping them out, you know. So, you know, putting the section on is a very sort of, well, it's just one part of the jigsaw.
Yeah. I got to say, chatting to Kirsten earlier, and you know, behind the scenes, you're not really fully aware of what's going on and the amount of communication which is going, and you know, you see what's happening, but you just don't see the feet under the water, if you like, when you're a swan.
Oh no, of course, that's
I can ask for a lot of things.
Yeah, it's like every sport. You know, the amount of stuff that goes on in the background is, you know, it's unbelievable, and we're very fortunate in here that we have a great amount of volunteers, you know, that come in. Well, we're all volunteers to that point, but you know, given the fact that the event's been running for over 100 years, you know, you're doing a lot of repetitive stuff. So you would like to think that you would try and get that right. But not, you know, we don't always get it right.
There's always a spanner somewhere gets into that works.
Look, at the end of the day, we're all human, and we all make mistakes, and you know, we get to this point and there where, you know, the old energy level starts to drop. So, but yeah.
Yeah, hump day, as they call it, isn't it? Wednesday, hump day.
Is it?
Yeah. Gone up, now you're going
down
to the end, you see.
Okay, no, I'm okay, yeah.
No, not wearing that one.
Never heard that one, no, but anyway, there you go.
You've never had a hump day?
I've had a tired day. I'll I'll have a wee think about that one. But anyway, no.
And feedback. I mean, after the event, you say you do evaluations. Do the landowners give feedback? And
of course they do.
Do you make contact then directly? Say, was there any problems?
Yeah, look, of course we do. We go and we get feedback from the riders. We get feedback, from observers. We get feedback, from the landowners. Quite rightly so. Whether we've done things right, wrong, or whatever, and we try and engage. And I try and get out on the course during the day, put a face to the name, that type of thing.
I know you're very proactive and go out and around.
Yeah, look, and we can't be everywhere, all the time. So, we have our representatives, which is all the officials and all the marshals and all that. So, they also do a great kind of PR job, we'll call it. Yeah. And again, look, trying to be out like to the West Highland Way, and you have a lot of walkers that maybe are not that sympathetic to the bikes, so therefore you try and get out, get the message across, and try and show that we're reasonably under control, as we'll call it. But look, at the end of the day, we're at day 3. We've got no crisis, and I think, personally speaking, the event's gone really well. A lot of good feedback. Sections are obviously riding a bit harder this year, I think.
Okay.
Not sure why that is, but there's no intentional aspect there. But whether it's sections or that, but observers doing really good job from there. I mean, the only thing I would like to just sort of bring up at this moment in time is that we go on about the localness and all that is the amount of sort of how would I put it, the entourage that follows the tri around on the day. And I would just like to put a wee message out to the support vehicles. And I know that, they feel, they want to support their individual rider. And up in the Highlands here, we don't have that many access roads, lay-bys, we're still there, but the volume of traffic now in Lochaber is going up tenfold. So be courteous. We try and give you areas to for spectators to park, but where we do find the hot spots is where spectators and the support vans are trying to park on that. So like a big message out to support vans, please, try and pick your spots a bit more sensitive, not where spectators are parking and the like on that. Yeah. Otherwise, I had quite an irate policeman at me yesterday, and I just again make this point. They're doing a sterling work this week. They've been great. Big Robbie on the bike. Rabbit crab it yesterday, but anyway, hopefully a better day of the day on that. But yeah, so that on there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, we look forward to your chat tomorrow morning.
Yep.
This is quite nice having these.
We've got a good day today, sort of not even spoken about today. We're, down Kinlochleven.
Yes.
Big support down there.
The road's shut down there, is that correct?
The road will be shut Thursday and Friday. Is the high road.
Okay, I thought.
Okay. So Kirsten at the Highland Council notified us that we've got a road closure on there, but it doesn't affect us.
Yeah, sorry, Thursday morning until Friday.
Yes.
Sorry, correct.
So it doesn't affect us other than the spectators kind of going into Kinlochleven. But the bikes, we're not on that road. We're coming out at Clerk this morning, so there really shouldn't be an impact at all on there. But we're up Glen Nevis today.
Yep.
Up Blen, up the bend. So that's a change to the normal calendar, as we'll call it, the running tire. And let's hope that we got a good amount of spectators up there, and it's slightly different. For a midweek. Yes, I've tried to reduce this one slightly down to 65 miles. So shorter day, a bit more off-road, and let's go see how it goes.
Very good.
Thanks.
Exciting stuff. So that's what's happening. See, from the horse's mouth. Nay.
I've heard of that one.
He's heard that one. He's never heard of a hump day. Something to put in your book. There you go.
Thank you very much.
When you write your memoirs, I know what a hump day is.
Excellent.
Back at the studio. How's it going back there? David Sedgwick, a very good morning to you, sir.
Morning, John. Nice to hear you, and nice to hear David, and describing everything on the course. It's always great to have a local guy like that being clerk of the course, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Can you hear that, David? Off the speaker?
Just about. I assume that's his lordship, is it?
David Sedgwick.
Not his lordship. Absolutely.
That's
John Moffat.
He's a dame.
He's a Dave. I know that because I stopped him in the high street wondering what old push bike he had.
I know, that's right. Yeah. Well, I also got wrong that I'd forgotten you were Carl's uncle rather than his father, and I was because Carl's a great protege actually, who's gone on to become. I don't know whether he's actually a consultant now or not, but he's a consultant in accident and emergency. I think down in Lanarkshire somewhere, possibly.
Yeah, no, really proud. Kevin's obviously very proud of him, what he's doing on that side, yeah.
Yeah, no, he did really well, actually, and did fantastically at Aberdeen as a student, and he's a great ambassador for the Lochaber area.
Yeah, good.
You see, you weren't expecting that chat, were you?
Not at all. Anyway, thank you, guys. I will disappear on there.
Oh, you're toddling off now. You know toddling. You know what that is?
Sorry?
Toddling off.
Toddling off.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, man, I tell you. He'll be up in the Highlands here for a while, man. Come on.
Language.
As I would say, just muck ashore.
No, I do what you're talking about. So, David, how are you this morning?
Good, thanks, actually. Yeah, no, I've had to swim and been heavily involved in it. The hospital thing is taking off in a big way. It needs to, actually, and we're hoping that we'll get our design and planning up to REBA Stage 3, and we're working hard on that. And we want everybody who's up here with the 6-day trials to consider writing. There are QR codes on some posters around to help them write to the Cabinet Secretary for Health and for the chairperson of NHS Highland, Sarah Compton Bishop, because we need to make sure we get a good hospital here for all these visitors that come, and for the locals particularly, who have to travel huge distances to get routine care.
I know, because say John was in there with Jean the end of last week, and he was saying from the outside the Belford looks a bit rough and tired. He said inside, he said what they, to keep the place going. He said it was actually quite uplifting. It wasn't what he's expecting. He said that the care he got was amazing, but the actual infrastructure of that building is starting to crumble now, isn't it?
It certainly is, and that needs to be addressed properly. And the only way of addressing it properly is a new build on the Blarmore. And we were working well until the money tree fell over, and they're saying that they're having to review the projects. Just hope that the Belford is up at the top there, because it certainly needs to be.
The tree didn't really fall over; it was cut off at the ground level.
It was actually, yes. It's like that one near Hadrian's Wall, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Are we talking about the tree on the wall outside the Belford?
No, we're using different. We're talking about
We wish there was a money tree there that would actually just give us the fruit, John.
There's a tree that grows out of one of the balconies at Belford, I'm sure. I've tried to find out about this, and nobody seems to know anything about it. Has nobody ever gone up and checked that building?
Wouldn't.
It's holding the place together. Be quiet, John.
Oh, is that right? I see. That's probably the roots are holding it together. But inside, it's quite nice inside.
Well, that's because of the hard work of the people in there, actually. It's trying to keep... But it is, there are leaks, there's all sorts of issues, and they work their way around it, and the staff are absolutely amazing with the things that they do there, actually. And Simon's very grateful to one member of staff there.
I've got to say, big thank you to Joyce. That was a banging bacon roll. Thank you very much.
In the kitchen, by any chance?
Yeah.
Surprise! We need to put our order into the Great Glen Grub Hub.
Yeah, so he's really bouncing now. He was a bit dejected and tired this morning when I came in, but he's certainly bouncing now, is Simon.
Jolly good.
That's bad thought. He's got to be careful. He's hurting anyway.
So we're having a thought for the day today.
Yeah, pass over to you then, David.
Okay. Good morning, Simon, John, and good morning to all the listeners. This week I'm sharing some thoughts on walks in the Bible. Jesus was on his way from Galilee in the north, where he was brought up. He was going to Jerusalem for the Passover festival. He was accompanied by his disciples, and as they approached Jericho, a city in the Jordan Valley, they came across a man born blind called Bartimaeus, who was begging at the side of the road. Now, there'd been a lot of talk around Jericho about this amazing teacher and miracle worker from Galilee called Jesus. When Bartimaeus heard that he was passing by, he started shouting to Jesus to ask him to help. The rest of the crowd, standing near him, told him, "Be quiet." But he wasn't going to be put off, and he shouted louder, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus heard him and said, "Bring him to me." "What do you want me to do for you?" he asked. Bartimaeus said, "Lord, let me receive my sight." Jesus said, "Receive your sight, your faith has made you well." Immediately he could see, and he followed Jesus from then on, thanking him, worshipping him, and he was a real example to all the people there. What can we learn from this walk with Jesus? Firstly, don't put off finding out more about him. Read about what he said and did, either in one of the Gospels, in the Bible, or in a book, or in the life story of a Christian. The things Jesus said and did changed people's lives and helped them build a new, supportive community. If Bartimaeus had put off asking Jesus, he would have missed the opportunity to see for the first time. Or if he'd been put off by the crowd telling him to shut up, he would definitely have missed out. Bartimaeus recognized who Jesus was, the Son of God. We need to decide who Jesus is. C.S. Lewis, the author of the Narnia Tales and many other books, came to recognize who Jesus is in later life. When he was professor of Oxford University, he gave some really popular broadcasts in the Second World War, which were transcribed into a book entitled Mere Christianity. Some say that Jesus is just a man, a good moral teacher, but he could never be the Son of God. C.S. Lewis said, a man who was merely a man and said the sort of things Jesus said would not be a great moral teacher. He would either be a lunatic on a level with a man who says he's a poached egg or Julius Caesar, or else he would be the devil of hell. C.S. Lewis goes on, either this man was and is the Son of God, or else a madman or something worse. Blind Bartimaeus recognized who Jesus was, asked for help, and his life was changed. What about us? Jesus helps us to see a new perspective on life and its meaning, as well as seeing how we can change our community. Let's listen to Blue Rose Code singing a song, Jericho, written by the Edinburgh-born Hybe, Ross Wilson, released earlier this year, a song described by a music critic as words that conjure up the freedom and release of being joyful in the moment. He's someone whose life has been touched by the Son of God. Thank you for listening. Here's Blue Rose Code singing Jericho.
The world time has come to.
From lodges by the river, barges on the canal, or even a luxury castle, they all share the common theme of being surrounded by stunning views and incredible scenery here in Lochaber. Rest assured, we are doing everything we can to keep you safe during your stay. We can't wait to welcome you.
road there. Very good choice, David.
My son saw him in London last week, actually, as well. I had a great time. It was his birthday.
That must be magic live.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen him a couple of times live, actually, and he is great, actually. He's amazing.
There you go. Good tune. Love it.
Thanks.
So we're changing things slightly down here. So we've got Gas.
Yes, we have Frank Ortner from the KTM group in Austria, who now own the Gas brand. So when I was going across to have a quick chat, I was expecting to speak to a Spaniard, but I'm actually speaking with an Austrian here, Frank Ortner. Now, Frank, you're very much involved with the Gas, the new 2025 bike. You obviously work at KTM at Mattighofen in Austria, which now owns Gas. Let's talk about the new TXT, the GP version. We've got the 250cc bike here. You can also get a 300cc. What is the difference of this bike compared to, say, the last year's model, the current model? What is the technical differences between 2024 and 2025?
Thanks a lot that I have the chance to be here. And we are really proud that we can present the bike here in this area and this really nice competition. The first thing that you can see is for sure that we made a little bit stuff on the graphics. It now looks really nice, and put a little bit more of the graphics on the GP bike, but still keeping the clean line.
Yeah.
This was the goal.
Yeah. Now, the bike, we've just been looking at it, this 250 version. You've still got carburetor for the induction, for the fuel mixture. Why have you stuck with carburetor as opposed to fuel injection?
Yeah, this is a question which I often be asked, because for sure everybody is expecting when will Gas bring the fuel injection bike, because as everybody knows, it's involved to KTM, and KTM is famous for the fuel injection for the two-strokes.
Yeah.
But especially on the trial bikes, it was a decision that we want to keep it as easy and as simple as it can be. So this is the big advantage also from the carburetor, and for the next future we will for sure stay with the carburetor.
Yeah, because there's certain advantages in different types of engines for the different classifications, Euro 5, Euro 6, etc. And there is no real advantage in going fuel injection for that, is there?
No, even with the fuel injection, it is really hard, or maybe also impossible, to reach the new Euro 5 Plus, which will be then model year 26. And yeah, to find a solution, it will be very hard. But also with the injection, it's almost impossible, I think.
And what about electric bikes, electric-powered bikes for Gas? Is that the future too?
Yes. I think it's already presented. Also, Sondre Hager is already in competition with the electric bike, and this will be for sure the future.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we had Electric Motion and TRRS earlier this week. We were discussing the differences between electric and the normal petrol engine bikes. But basically, an electric Gas would be very similar to the layout of this, with the perimeter frame, the forks, and the rear monoshock suspension, wouldn't it? There wouldn't be much change.
It would be the same concept. Also, the frame concept is still the same.
Yeah.
Even the engine concept with the gearbox and the clutch. It sounds easy just to change the cylinder against the electric engine.
Yeah.
It is much more, but in the end, it's similar.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, the engine of the Gas has been developed over many years when it was a Spanish-owned organisation, now owned by the Austrian KTM group. It's very, very narrow, isn't it? Very slim.
Yes, it's very slim, and we also keep this concept. And in the engine, we made for this model here some little improvements, but this improve a lot. Especially, we have a new cylinder head, which now is better for the flow of the fluid, to get a better cooling. And a big improvement for sure will be the gearbox, because we changed a little bit the bearings. This was always a little bit a problem.
Yeah.
And we are sure that it will much better this on the 25 model.
Now tell me, is the technicians and the research and development for the gas, is that now at Mattighofen or in Spain?
It is split, to be honest.
Okay.
There is still the old, I want to say, the group of developers in Spain.
Yeah.
And they bring all the knowledge of trials. And in Mattighofen, there is really a small group. To be honest, it's about 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
Which I am one of this. I'm proud of this.
Yes, of course.
And we work really good together. We put input to Spain and say we would think about this. The Spanish guys maybe in the beginning say if we can manage, but we work really together, really good, and this is the
result.
Yeah, the result.
I remember many years ago, the company does not sell motorbikes now, but in Austria, Steyr Daimler Puch, they had very, very clever engineers back in the day, very clever, and of course we had Walther Luft. Rode the Puch here in Scotland and won many prizes on the Puch, and we were always amazed at the technical bits and pieces of the Walter Luft machine, which were self-made, but with the help of the Puch factory in Graz.
Yes, for sure,
and very clever engineers in Puch. We were always amazed. So Austria seems to produce these clever people, but also in Spain, you know, fair play. The gas was originally developed in Spain, and now obviously with KTM being a very, very big organisation, they have, let me think, Husqvarna, they have gas, KTM of course, WP suspension, and now MV Agusta.
MV Agusta now also, yes.
Yes. So thank you very much. I don't know if there's anything that anybody else wants to ask. Is there anything you want to ask at all?
No, I think it's the actual development's amazing, and say it's obviously ongoing. How many years does this take between one sort of edition of a bike to another? How many years roughly development between one bike to another? Do you have a time scale?
No, on the trial bike, this is not the big. The biggest revolution was the frame concept, the new frame concept, and this already was started by gas before KTM came. So the development started in 2019 of this bike, because when we took gas. Then I had the possibility to test also the new concept, and this was in 2019.
That's amazing. It's obviously very ongoing.
Yeah.
And time.
And then the development is going for sure.
Where will it ever stop? What's the next goal? What is the next big change, do you think?
The next big change will for sure be the electric bike, to be honest.
Yeah, that is going to be the future.
Yes. Yeah, for the electric bike, for sure, it is a must-have for the future.
I look forward to seeing racing up here and competing up in the 6 days trial. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, thank you very much, Franz, for coming in and talking about the new gas 2025 bike. Laia Sanz is riding this bike now at the Scottish.
Is for sure the 300.
The 300 version. So, and of course you have other models as well. The racing version, which I think starts at 125, 250, 280.
280, and also a 300.
The 300. So there's a bike for everyone, basically.
Yeah, it's a basic bike. Yeah. With a little differences, it's a bike for everyone.
Brilliant. So thank you very much, Franz, and your colleagues at Gas KTM Group for coming along today. Thank you.
Thank you. It was an honour for me. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And there we have it. We have the Gas here in the Paddock for the 2025 version, and you've listened to Franz talking about his product. And as I said, there's some very clever engineers come from the country of Austria, and we were always amazed with the products from, as I say, a previous manufacturer, Puch, PUCH. Some people call it pooch. I always call it puch because that's what the Austrians taught me to. And it was quite funny when I went in to see them at Gas this morning to bring the bike along here. I was expecting a Spanish engineer, and when the guy started talking, I thought, this guy's got an Austrian accent. So he knows where I go on holiday as well, because Mattighof isn't too far away from there. So quite interesting, but very technical and really nice looking bike. I really like the look of that bike. If I was going back to a two-stroke, I think I'd probably have a go on one of them, but not the 300. That would be too much. But I quite like the idea of a 125. I think that would maybe suit me better now at advanced stage.
Does Auntie Jean knows the wallet might be coming out then?
Oh no, I'm not. If I fancied doing that, but not at the moment. But a really nice bike, and it's nice and nice build quality by the looks of things there. And obviously France knows his stuff. I mean, these guys are very, very switched on guys. But as he just said there, it looks like Gas are going to put a lot into the new electric version, and he sees that as the future.
Yeah, surprised me in a way, but no.
Well, it's all to do with this Euro 5 plus. We've got this with trucks and cars and everything on the Euro 5, Euro 6, you name it. They're pushing the boundaries all the time for emission controls, and yeah, it's one of these things. But I mean, I'm not a great fan of electric cars, for example. I like the hybrid. I prefer that, the part electric, part petrol engine. But the electric vehicles themselves now, there's been a sort of drop in sales of electric cars, and some of the rental companies are finding it difficult to get people to rent electric cars because of the fact they've got to stop places and charge them. That seems to be the big issue, the range of the vehicles. And it's great knowing when you've got a hybrid, it automatically switches over from electric power to petrol power, and you just fill the tank. And of course it takes you 10 minutes to fill your car at a petrol station normally, whereas charging it, it can take a few hours or whatever to do that. But interesting to hear France talking about that their push at Gas under KTM Group will be the electric version of the trials bike.
No, definitely. Good to get them in, and good to get that, good glimpse and get close as we can with that to actually find out what is going on. I think it's exciting stuff.
Yeah, very much. And that bike was launched here at the Scottish 6 Days. They took the opportunity to bring the 2025 bike out here at Fort William, which is really quite exciting.
And do we get a cost on what that bike would be, standard? I didn't hear because I lost all my connections.
No, we didn't actually ask the price of that, but I would imagine, because that is the GP bike, and we've got racing versions as well. That's the sort of, I think that's the top of the range on that one. So I would imagine it will be in the sort of region of what we had on Monday was the TRRS and the EM, and they were between £7,000 and £9,000. So I would imagine that the Gas will be fairly similar to that.
Okay. Very good. Well, there you go. We threw things in the works there. We did chuck a couple of spanners in, and but it's nice to sort of catch up with them while they're here. I think that's quite important. And what did you think of that, Si?
I quite enjoyed watching that. I see myself and David were sat here watching that with interest, seeing what it looks like.
It's got a bit frantic trying to work out camera angles and things like that, but that's what we live and learn, I guess.
Yep, amazing. That was amazing.
Oh, David's still there. Hello, David. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was.
We've been intrigued. Just looking.
Yeah, it was fascinating.
Mr. Sedgwick always liked the cutting edge.
That's exactly. Very good.
That's not bad for a Wednesday morning, is it?
That's brilliant. My children say you crack a joke every minute and we laugh every half hour, Dad.
Nice one.
Oh, blimey. I'll tell you what, I think we should have a tune. We'll get some camera angles sorted out here and level things up.
You've got some weather to do.
I've got weather. I can do weather.
Yeah, because obviously we canned the news.
Yeah, because that's because I don't often look at my phone. That caught me by surprise. So there you
go.
I
thought that bike's a bit more interesting than the news. So
you can't say things like that. What do we do with that with our politicians and things like that? Eh?
Well, yeah, you'll get the same news next hour. Anyway, right, what tune do you want?
You can choose one.
Oh, I can choose one. That means I've got to think. I tell you what. Where's your man from Eurovision?
Oh, Ollie. Did you watch that last night? No,
of course I didn't. I was busy.
There's a lot of complaints going about the performance he's going to put in and the dancers he had.
All right.
It was OTT, and even Mrs. W said, how are they getting away with that? Very suggestive, very evocative, shall I say.
Ah, right.
And, very cleverly staged, and it's brilliant. But, yeah, there's a couple of... I mean, actually, Eurovision's gone bit smutty. I don't know what you think, Mr. Sedgwick. Did you?
I'd agree. I didn't see it. No, I don't. It's sort of also, yeah. I think it has changed a lot actually from what it was in the good old pure days with Cliff and Sandy Shaw and things. But that's going back a while. John,
well, Sandy took her shoes off. That was disgusting.
What was the one that they ripped the skirt off the girl?
Oh, Bucks Fizz.
Bucks Fizz.
Yeah,
that
I'm
was
sure doing
regarded as
that.
a
You
bit
leave that one
risky.
alone.
Yeah.
No, it was just, I don't know. You say, yeah, maybe we're getting a bit older, but I just sat there. I thought, okay. Yeah, I like people sort of pushing it, but that was just a bit
OTT.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
For what is, you've got lots of kids watching that and loving it as well.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've got no problem with a lot of what's going on there. I think, even I said, I was watching social media and people saying, how is the UK getting away with that?
Yeah.
But there you go. That's what it's about. Yeah, it's Ollie Alexander. I say from years and years. And as a performer, he's actually quite a good actor too. I think he's an award-winning actor, if my memory serves me correct. But he's quite talented. But as I say, the staging, the camera angles and what they're doing, it's like he's in a cube which sort of revolved around. I know we've sort of seen this stuff before. It's very cleverly done. But yeah, we'll wait and see what's going to happen on Saturday.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's what's happening there. So am I doing the weather now?
Weather. Then we'll have Ollie Alexander, and then we'll be back shortly.
Today's weather on Nevis Radio, brought to you by Thistle Access.
Staying pretty dry, some sunshine, they're saying this morning. Rain will reach the Western Isles around midday, spreading west and north in the afternoon. The other areas remaining dry but becoming cloudy. Quite warm in the east, getting up to 16 degrees centigrade, 61 Fahrenheit. This evening is going to be cloudy with rain spreading east. Rain heavy at times continuing across the west, but dry weather developing across the east. Going to be very mild at 11 degrees centigrade, 52 Fahrenheit.
That was today's weather on Nevis Radio, brought to you by Thistle Access.
From lodges by the river, barges on the canal, or even a luxury castle, they all share the common theme of being surrounded by stunning views and incredible scenery here in Lochaber. Rest assured, we are doing everything we can to keep you safe during your stay. We can't wait to welcome you.
For the players.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Lochaber. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene, walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free. Rain or shine, there is always something to do. Get out and enjoy all the incredible things we have to offer right here in Lochaber.
Cause you woke up in the morning with initiative to move, so I make it harder. Hold back. Think about it, so many people do be cool and look smart. The world time has come to.
Day trial.
Day 3 and my phone's just falling on the floor. What's going on?
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh dear. My old Nokia. Other brands are available. So, I understand we're going up on the hill very shortly. Is that correct back there?
That is the plan. We're just kind of prepping that just now is the aim of the game here. Before we go into that, I just want to say, Fiona says good morning. She's liking the new beta, and hi John, she saw you yesterday.
Which John?
John Moffat.
John Moffat.
She's liking the new what, sorry?
Brand new beta motorbike.
Beta
motorbike, sorry.
Oh, right. Very good.
And she saw you yesterday. So, yeah, hi. Also, Dennis Jones has been in touch from Spain.
Yeah, Dennis.
Says hello. He's enjoying the green colours of Scotland. He's got a bit of a water shortage and it's rationed just now. It's currently 24 degrees.
Horrific.
Oh, well, he lives in Spain. You see, that's Dennis Jones, who used to ride for Suzuki and Sprite. In fact, he developed the Sprite motorcycle with Frank Hipkin back in the 1960s. So a nice shout out to my friend Dennis Jones. Bit of a character is Jonah.
I thought you meant the drink for a minute.
Sorry?
I thought you meant the drink for a minute.
No.
Now,
Sorry.
if John, if you look at your monitor screen,
I do, yeah.
We should be able to see live sections today.
All right. Which section is this exactly? Is it Lower Mamore?
It could very well be.
Right. I would imagine it would be because the first riders at Lower Mamore was at 8:40, so I would presume that is a section because it is spectator friendly. Lower Mamore, it's been in the trial for quite some years now, which is good, and it's just outside Kinlochleven, where I think David's based, isn't it?
That's right. We're kind of having a wee experiment with this at the moment to see if we can get this working, because it's something we've been asked about for a number of years. We thought we'd sussed it out a couple of years back, but other things kind of got in the way, so we kind of mothballed it. But we thought we'd get it back out and have another go.
Okay.
So we're going to dabble around with this in the background and see if we can get you some live sections so you can see some bikes going up some rocks and things is the idea.
Sounds like a good plan to me. Can't see anything at the moment.
No, we appear to have lost it. I think Dan's working on that. I say that we don't really know if this is going to fully work.
Oh, there's something.
It's back now.
There is something there. If you're wondering what's going on, it is a Scottish 6 Days show. We're at Parc Ferme, which is the West End car park in Fort William. And I say there's footage up there, which we need to do some kind of commentary on. There's a ground.
Yeah, he's moving about a bit quick. If we could slow it down a little bit. I've got a wee bit of interference again with my radio, but you can see clearly now the actual stream bed. he's panning around like a crazy man at the moment, so if he could maybe slow it down a little bit.
Hopefully David can hear us.
So I don't get dizzy. So obviously the spectators are out on the hill at the moment, and it's you can see all the lights in there on the ground round about the section, so that you can, if you've not seen a trial before and you're watching this, very much out in the open. He seems to be panning on a tree trunk at the moment. Don't know if there's any bikes actually in the area ready to tackle the section. They go in through the begins cards and out through the ends cards, and the actual section is marked blue indicator marker on the left and red marker on the right.
So obviously from the screen we can see there's a load of people stood at the side. There's various people in bibs. With the photographers and the observers, is there specific points they need to be at?
No, what the observer does is he positions himself at the side of the section so that he can see the whole section from start to finish, so that he can actually score the rider properly. The red bib there is one of the officials. He doesn't seem to be doing anything. I don't think he's got a marker, and of course now they key it into these smartphones, so normally they used to hold books in their hands. But that's one of the SSDT officials sitting on the bank there. But there's one further down in the valley as well that you can see. But we've just lost him there. So the object is to go through the section without losing any marks, without putting your feet on the ground. But we just lost the feed there. It's back to us.
It is back to us.
Yeah,
indeed.
I think signal's a bit of a struggle. We're working on it. But we're going to try and get that working again a little bit later on, hopefully.
Well, you can see that it's not an easy place to get a motorcycle into or out of. So that's the whole aim of the game. It's very, very rough ground that they ride on, and very, very much up at the Scottish 6 Days. The feature of the Scottish 6 Days is the rocky streams. Doesn't seem to be much water in there at Lower Mamore. I'm not quite au fait exactly which part of Lower Mamore they're in, because it changes through the seasons. You know, when the ferns come up in the next couple of weeks, you'll hardly be able to see that area. It all gets sort of overgrown, and that is a feature of the Scottish. A month, well, maybe even three weeks after the trial, it's hard to determine where the bikes have actually gone, because the ground recovers quickly, what with the fern cover around about these areas that they use in the trial itself.
That's what Dave Dignan was saying earlier. Yeah, it's amazing how quickly it recovers. It's the right time of the season, everything's growing at the moment.
That's right. They get it just at the start of the growing season, and then when the bikes go on the paths within a couple of weeks, because the growing season is, you know, well underway, you just can't see where the bikes have been. It's part of the feature of the event, and that's why they run it in early May.
Absolutely. It is 24.5 minutes past 9. You want to get in contact with us, many ways you can do that.
Oh yeah, that's my job, isn't it? Yeah, so you can contact the studio 01397 706 100. You can WhatsApp us on the exact same number, 01397 706 100. Or if you're abroad, just to put +44 at the start. You can get us at studio@nevisradio.co.uk, or you can find us on the Facebook at Nevis Radio Official as well. If you do want to watch and see what's going on, check out YouTube, and it's just Nevis Radio Official there. I think if you type in Nevis Radio Live, it'll pop up as well, and you can watch that and see what's going on, complete with chat box. No details required, no payment required. It's completely all free for your enjoyment.
And repeating something we said just about Scottish 6 Days Trial, Facebook pages, and things, there's one official site. If you're asked to pay for anything, do not pay for anything. Do put your names on anything. Don't sign up for anything.
That's right. It was made clear on the SSDT Facebook page last night, as you rightly said during the day when we were on air, that there has been some scam SSDT24 individuals moving about. They're not pages, they're not groups, which struck me as being strange. You don't have an individual just running a major motorcycle event. It's normally a group on Facebook, social media. So I cottoned on to it early, so I didn't accept the friend request from the rogue out there. And then obviously now it's taken another turn, and that they're looking for bank account details, etc. So beware, it's a phishing scam. But we'll maybe come on later on to the Don Smith story? I don't know when that would be most appropriate.
Whenever you'd like to do it, I guess.
Could do it now if you want.
Want to do it now?
We talked about earlier this week Don Smith. He was 3 times European trials champion. Came from Walthamstow, so down in the London area. And I did his article on Trials Guru at the back end of last year. I think it was round about October time I started putting it together with the help of his family. Don went through periods of ups and downs in the troughs, if you like, highs and lows. And he was a works rider for Greaves. Then he moved on in 1968 to Monteza. He actually, to get out of the contract with Greaves, he actually bought himself a Bultaco, a Sherpa Model 27, rode that for a few months until he got underway with Monteza in Spain. But when he rode with Greaves, he befriended one of the factory mechanics at Thundersley, and that was another local connection I didn't mention earlier this week, but Don Smith was very friendly with Ali Bate Cameron, a well-known Lochaber man, lived in the town, but Ali took up employment before he was married down at Thundersley at the Greaves factory, and he was a factory mechanic, and he spannered for Badger Goss. And all the Greaves riders knew Ali Beck. And what happened was he actually used to go out practicing with Don Smith at a place called Kelvedon Hatch. Now, those that know their areas down there will know that there was a great big nuclear bunker at Kelvedon Hatch with a control centre that looked like a cottage. And the local farmer owned the ground, but the MOD took over most of the area underground, and there was a huge complex built there, you know, to control most of that part of Britain underground if there was a nuclear attack. But it was a good place for practice and trials, and Ali Bate used to go out many times with Don Smith to go practicing on the latest models. But Don moved on to Monteza, and then in 1970, whilst he was to be riding the Scottish 6 Days under Monteza motorcycles, he was wanting to finish his contract with Monteza, and he did so by building his Don Smith Stag using a Monteza engine, but in his own nickel-plated frame with REH hubs and all the latest little bits and pieces that were available at the time, chain tensioner, etc. And it was a nice bike. It didn't win many trials or anything like that, but it was his test bed, and the actual one that's still in existence, there's only ever one built, was the Stag MK1 or Mark 1, and that bike still exists, happily to report that. However, Don hit a bad period. He had Don Smith motorcycles in Hyams Park, and he worked that from 1960 to round about 1969, and he sold the business. But it was a bit of a lean period financially, so the MacDonald family helped out a little bit, we reckon, with the Stag. He got free accommodation along at Falcha, or Hunting Tower Lodge as it's now known, and continued to ride the Scottish 6 Days. He was quoted in his own book, Ride It, which was produced back in the early 70s, that the Scottish 6 Days was his favourite event, but it was an event that eluded him because he only managed to get 3rd position. But it was one of these trials that he really wanted to win, as most trials riders do. They want to win the Scottish 6 Days, but it would have been a great promotion for the brand that he rode at the time, Monteza and Greaves, and then latterly Kawasaki. But Don was getting on in age when he did go to Kawasaki, and it took about a year and a half for them to actually turn round and give him a contract. So in 1972, he went to Japan, started talking with the Kawasaki people who were keen to get into trials because they saw that as an additional market for their motocross and road racing. And they developed what was then to become the KT250 Kawasaki trial model. Now, it wasn't a great successful bike. It was a bit of a Marmite bike. You either liked it or loathed it, and but it did sell in relatively small numbers compared to the units that Kawasaki were used to selling, but it was exported out to America. The States got them as well, and it had some nice innovative features with it. But Don obviously loved the Scottish 6 days. He rode a Kawasaki up here a couple of times, and he also brought a Japanese rider over to ride in England, and also did very many trials. Fumihito Kato, who latterly had his own Kato Riders Salon in Japan, and now he's into hang gliding. So the nice bit about the story that I did on Don Smith was that his son Paul has now rekindled the friendship that the Smith family had with Fumihiro. Fumihiro-san, I got in touch with him through Facebook. I told him who I was, what I was doing, and he was intrigued, so he sent me, accepted my friend request, which was good. That gave me communications with him, and he said, is the Smith family still around? Are they on Facebook? And I gave him links to Amanda and Paul, so that the rest of the family could link in. And I think Paul kept in touch a long time after Don's death, but then it sort of disappeared a little bit. Obviously, it was not done by online social media. It was done by correspondence, etc. So, and I think Paul was able to go to Japan and visited him some years ago. So I think that's on the cards to happen again. So my story, which is quite comprehensive, and you can actually look at the whole story on Trials Guru website, www.trialsguru.net. Under Riders, if you just click on the Riders, it's a drop-down menu, and the one at the very top is Don Smith, and that will give you the whole story. But so many connections with Don and Lochaber and Fort William people, the MacDonald family and the Cameron family, all going back into those years for a three-time European champion, which was the equivalent at that time of the World Trials Championship. And funnily enough, I bumped into Dave Thorpe yesterday at the Corn Ferry, and I was telling him about it, and he even said, yeah, of course, Don Smith was one of the good riders. He won a lot of stuff. It's amazing how many things that he actually won, and just the Scottish 6 days eluded him. His main rival at that time, Sammy Miller, a man that he didn't fear, but he knew was a worthy competitor, because Sam was into the habit of winning everything around. But, Don Smith did beat him quite a few times and gave him a run for his money. But the really nice thing about it was when Don died, after planning to ride the Pre-65 once again on a Triumph Cub, who was at Don's funeral? Mr. and Mrs. Sammy Miller. That's what you call respect.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, I can go for that tune then, Si. Come back to us. We'll have a look at the scores, but that is a fascinating story. And as I say, do check out the Trials Guru website for the full unedited version, I guess.
To move, so I make it harder. Think about it, so we can do it cool and look smooth. The world time has come to.
Visit a Scottish region full of wonder, from stunning mountainous landscapes to deserted sandy beaches, relaxing woodland trails to heart-racing adventure, from historic treasures to the simplest of pleasures. The view from the top, the cleanest air, hidden places and wide open spaces. Unearth a breathtaking world right here in Lochaber.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Lochaber. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene, walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free. Rain or shine, there is always something to do. Get out and enjoy all the incredible things we have to offer right here in Lochaber.
Visit a Scottish region full of wonder, from stunning mountainous landscapes to deserted sandy beaches, relaxing woodland.
This is day 3 of the Scottish 6-day trial.
It is day 3, live and exclusive from Parc Ferme, the West End car park in Fort William for you and me, but right now it is Parc Ferme. And through each and every weekday between 7 and 11. On the Saturday, it'll be 7 till about 12:30 when the very last rider leaves the car park for their final route, I guess. I understand we're going to go back to Dave Green a bit. John Moff is talking to somebody in the car park right now. I will try and get him back very, very shortly. Although he's not even listening. But we'll find out where David is, what he's doing. It looks very, very interesting. Just had a breakfast, and a bit's got stuck in the back of my throat, so he caught me on the hop there. But
that's all right. See, obviously, for people watching on our live feed on the YouTube, we've been dabbling around with this one for a little while, but we thought we'd have a go and see if we can actually get it working. So this is kind of version number 1 of live sections from down in the Kinloch area.
Which looks a bit more slick than what it was.
Yeah, I think we had a few frame rate issues, so we've been, Dan's mainly been dealing with it in the background. There's so many different things to deal with this, it's mad. But obviously you can see we've got some bikes coming up here. And yeah, I need an expert who knows about bikes, really.
He's wandered off.
He's wandered off. But there you go, we finally had a bike going up a section on our live feed, which I'm very pleased to see. So I know David can't hear us just now, but I'm very, very proud of this one.
Right, well, I don't know who Mr. Moff is talking to. He's going to catch somebody else. He just said, I'll go to that person in the car park. And he's disappeared. And that is it, basically.
Okay.
So he's left me in a lurch with half a bacon roll in my mouth. Oh, here he comes down.
He's missed it now.
Right, we've got better footage up on the old screen. You want to go up and have a look?
I see that. It seems to be a bit clearer. Here's a rider coming up now, which is cracking. Unfortunately, my radio keeps going off, but there we are. Oh, he's 5 the section there. He's off the bike, so that's a 5 for a start. Now he's got. Now who is this? Rider number 1. Looks like 100 there. We've got a couple of officials in the way there, but a couple of observers, but they should be there. They need to see what the rider's doing. So he's carried on, fair play to him. He's got out the section.
It looks quite steep, that, John.
Oh, yeah, I mean, sections are not to be underestimated. I mean, it's a fairly tough section, this. I'm sure it's Lower Mamore we're at. I don't think that's been confirmed, has it?
I'm going to say probably yeah, because I should have really checked that, but no.
It's either... Now, by the steepness of it, I don't know about the timings. The book's over there on my table, but Greymare's Tail looks a little bit like this, so I'm not sure.
I noticed the riders are kind of having a look.
9:30 was the first rider to be at Greymare's Tail. This could be Greymare's Tail from him. There's not a lot of water in it though, which has probably thrown me. But if it is Greymare's Tail, it's just at the back of Kinloch Leaving.
Okay.
There's a nicer ride up there. I'm almost certain this is Greymare's Tail. trying to remember how it goes. But it's in a deep valley, you know, a deep gorge, and it drops quite steeply. So we're looking at a pretty hefty gradient here. I'm not sure who that official is, because I don't know who's covering which sections today. But I thought at the start it might be Lower Memore, but it just looks too steep for Lower Memore. So I'm guessing that this is Greymare's Tail. Maybe you can get a message out to David just to confirm that. Sorry? Greymare's Tail. Yeah, it is Greymare's Tail. It certainly looked like it to me. I had to have a think. I wasn't sure what time the first rider... Now, what you can see now is there's a rider coming up there without his bike. He's walking the section. This is very important. Those that don't know trials, you actually get to look at the section before you ride it. But that's the same in most motorsports. In motocross, you're allowed to walk the course with practice. So there's normally a walkout in the morning so you can see the lay of the land, see where the best lines are. Now, this guy, he's stopped there for a bit to try and get up. Now, if I was observing that section, by the time he took to balance himself, being a no-stop trial, I would have given him a 5 for that. That might sound a bit harsh, but in my way of observing in a no-stop, you've stopped, that's definitely a 5. But some of the observers are a wee bit lenient, and they might have let him away with that. But as long as they do it for everybody, then that's the key of it. Now, there you can see a rider walking the section without his crash helmet on. He's having a look. He's obviously feeling a wee bit hot, so he's taking the lid off. If you do that in Spain, they actually give you a 5 for it, apparently, if you walk the section without your crash helmet on. They don't insist on it here. But it's handy just to keep the lid on, because if you fall in the section, it still gives you protection. But you can see the guy walking down. He's turning around. He's looking up the line. He's nipping down. You can see he's taking his time there to traverse that drop. It's a fairly steep bit of section there. He's now at near the bottom. And of course they'll all jump out the way in a minute when a rider comes up. But that's them walking the section. He's coming back up now. The rider's having another look at that. He's pointing at where he wants to go. He's trying to memorise as to where he's going to go. And the secret is, when you're walking a section, when you're walking back down the section, you keep turning round and looking back up at it, because you ain't got to be going that direction. You've got to go up the hill, not down it in this case. So they keep stopping, looking back up to the section to see where the line is, and what they're trying to do is memorise where they need to go. Should they be off to the left, off to the right, or bang up the centre, straight over the top? So here's another guy coming up now. You can just see him walking it up.
Do they have to go in their number order, or can they, like, right, you go first kind of thing?
No, it depends on how you arrive at the section. If this section was queued up with riders at the bottom, you'd if it was getting to the point where there's too many riders there, the official in charge of this particular group of sections would then dictate whether they would allow delay. So you have to hand your time card in to have it marked, so that if you're there for maybe 25 minutes or something, then you get an allowance extra added onto your overall running time for the day. There's rider 101 going up there, taking a dab there. That's he hit the ground with his foot, so that's 1 mark lost. I think he's dropped another mark, and he seems to have failed the section there, I think. If David goes back to it, we'll find out, because it looks as though he's 5'd it just before the ends cars. So that's 5 marks lost. I'm trying to think now, is it just one section here at Greymare's Tail? It'll show you on the route there. Hold on. Greymare's Tail, where are we? There's 2 sections here, so it may be 2 continuous we're looking at here. It's difficult to tell from the footage, because the camera angle, I can't see a sort of... if it's 2 sections, it'll be numbered 1 and 2 with the letter of the corresponding group on the bottom, just at the bottom of the hill there. So it may be 2 continuous sections. So you could have a 5 in one and a clean in the other, or vice versa. Here's another rider coming up here. This is the steep bit. No, he's stopped. No, he's pushing for a 3 there. Round he goes, round the corner. This is him coming up to the end of it now, I think. Pretty difficult exit. Oh, he's got a bit of a clap there, so they think that was a good attempt there, so not too bad. And it's frozen now. I don't know if that's deliberate.
I think we've got some potential signal issues out there. I think we're kind of on the line of where we can use really.
Yeah. getting a wee bit pixelated on my screen anyway. Here's another rider. He's taken a couple of dabs, but he's struggling. But he's managed. If he's managed to keep it going, act like a centipede. Get the size 9s down on the ground, and he's pushed it forward. So he hopefully gets through for a 3 marks lost. So they're coming thick and fast now. Obviously the riders are looking the section when the riders are coming, other riders are coming up, so they just step out the way. Here's another bloke coming up. The difficulty, this is always the situation with trials now, the Scottish especially, where it's a no-stop, is actually determining whether the rider stopped or not. Now, when it comes to videos, it's all very well. There's a lot of people comment on social media, oh, that was a 5, this was this and that was that. And my retort to that is, well, you put yourself at the position where the observer was and see what the observer actually sees. He can't, it's not as if he's like a roving camera that he can walk the whole section while the riders are actually coming up there. He's got to see the whole section from one vantage point and determine whether that rider has kept going or not. And what they do is, if they're not sure if the rider has stopped or kept going, they normally give the rider the benefit of the doubt on the rider's side. So they would let them away with it if they were totally unsure if the rider had stopped, or maybe even if the rider's foot had indeed touched the ground. Then you get people coming off the hill with videos and saying, well, okay, from where I was standing, it's a definite 1 because his foot touched the ground. Well, if the observer didn't see that, then it wouldn't go down on the results sheet. It's as simple as that. You've got to sort of go by the observer. And of course, if the observer's at the same point all day, then everybody's getting the same advantage or disadvantage, if you like.
So on the scoring, John, you're saying that 1 foot down or a dab, as it's known, that's 1 point?
That's right, 1 mark lost.
So
and if you touch the ground, 2 marks,
yep.
And then 3 or above is a 3 mark loss. You can then touch the ground 50 times if you like, it's still 3 marks. But if you stop altogether or fall off in the section, that's 5.
Okay, interesting. And if you pull out, you disqualified that whole section. What's the most points you can lose? Is
5. Normally 5 marks. If you pull out, if you're halfway through the section, you get stuck and then you go out the side door, you know, maybe round about.
So as long as you start the section.
As long as you start the section. You're supposed to go in the ends cards and out the exit cards, but technically, to get you out the way, the observer normally lets you go out the side door and on your way. If you 5 the section, you 5 the section. Simple as that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as the spectators, I mean, some of them look like they're in the way.
It depends on the camera angle. I mean, what the observers are the ones that have to be close to the action. And what an observer will do is he'll shout down the section to get out the way, because he's got to have a clear line of sight for the rider coming towards him and going away from him. And sometimes the spectators naturally get closer and closer to the section.
Edge into it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, back in the 80s, if you went to Ben Nevis, which is later today, it used to be 6 deep, and people, a bit like the rallying, if you've ever watched the rally films, the spectators close in on the road after the car's going through just to get a better view, and that used to happen at Ben Nevis. But sometimes the spectators forget to move back again, and that can be in the line of sight, and you'll get the observer shouting down the section, could you move back please, could you move back? And it's purely so that the observer can see the action. He's got to see it. Otherwise, if they don't move back, he'll just stop the trial at that point and say, right, until you move, I'm not bringing another rider up. Simple as that, because he's got to be able to see the rider's performance. That's what his job is. And every observer is an assistant to the clerk of the course, believe it or not. He's the eyes and ears of the clerk of the course. They're acting under his control and reporting to him with the marker cards, with the results sheets, etc., or whatever they're using. In this case, you know, they're recording it electronically nowadays.
Good pictures. Well done, David.
Yeah, superb. That'll do me.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I say, John, what we're going to do is we're going to work on this over the next year and see if we can get this up to speed with the rest of our stuff.
Yeah, quite exciting, that. And I can maybe be a bit more prepared next year.
Well, I think once we know exactly who's going to be where and even work out what the riders' numbers are, give that full...
Well, I thought it might have been down at Lower Memore because it's an easier section to get to. But what he's done is David's picked Greymare's Tail. So that's good because it is quite a difficult section, as you can see.
Difficult, yeah.
And it's quite steep there. A lot of riders go, "Oh, grey mare's tail, here we go." I've actually seen it in spate in years gone by, and bikes going completely submerged with just the wheels sticking out at that point, just because of the volume of water that can come down that valley. A good section to go and see. Obviously, quite a few people there, as you can pick up from the video feed, which is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, brilliant.
So that's what's happening. Live and exclusive all over the place, not just down in Parc Ferme, but in Kinloch Leven as well. Grey mare's tail. We'll have a look at the scores after the news. I think it's probably the best time to do them now. Give a bit more time.
I'll do fine, yeah.
Bikes, it's gone really quiet around us. It was absolutely chaotic about an hour ago. Now it seems to be there's not a vehicle in sight apart from a few bikes waiting to be taken out.
That's right. I mean, there's been a lot of working going on. Obviously, this is middle of the week, and this is the time when people start pulling back their marks. As you could see, Dougie Lampkins crawled his way towards the front yesterday, and he'll be doing even more of that today because he'll be wanting to build up an advantage if he can. I mean, Doug Lampkin, as I said at the start of our broadcast, never underestimate Dougie Lampkin because he's won the trial 14 times, and he's not here for a holiday. He's here to win again, and he'll want to make it 15.
Plus, I mean, he's a professional, so obviously the sponsors want him to do well. Everybody wants him to do well.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, he's the importer for Vertigo motorcycles, and obviously he wants to promote the brand, and obviously the best way to promote the brand is win the Scottish 6 days.
Get a picture over all the magazines and papers.
Yeah, exactly. So he'll be wanting to do well and uphold Lampkin honour once again. But there's obviously other people coming more into the field now. I mean, there you've got young Harry Hemingway, second attempt at the Scottish. He's lying in 6th position, for example. And of course, you've got the Peace brothers who are up in 1st and 3rd position. And of course, Jack Price, no longer leading the trial, but, within a shout of 1 mark. It's not a lot. And that was on the Tuesday. We'll see what it'll be like at the end of today's run. But
a big thanks to our sponsors, Michelin Tyres, as ever, supporting us. Trials Magazine, always with us. They've been with us for many, many years. Comms West is the way we're getting all our signals out to you from a car park. We've also got Thistle Access, which is keeping Dan, who just sits in there eating biscuits all day, warm and dry. We've also got Nevis Bakery and the Great Glen Grub Hub for supplying the breakfast, and Gavin Cairns for picking up the bill. For us here at Nevis Radio, keeping us fed and watered.
Right, here. Stop trying to upset Dan. He's doing a lot back there that no one can see.
He's just in a van. That's all he does. Sits down in his little swing chair, legs on the table, doing nothing. He's been rude out the door now.
I'm not surprised. The work that's gone on to bring you that picture from Kinloch is crazy.
I know. You know I'm all doing it very tongue-in-cheek. I know exactly what goes on.
But there are people go, that's cool. It's like you have no idea.
No, it just looks like put a bit of video on the screen. Like even to put a bit of data on the screen doing what down here. It's not a 5-minute job. We haven't got a big, what should I say, production suite. We've just got...
It's difficult. I reckon between us, me and Dan could go land a rocket on the moon now.
Well, there's less technology then.
Yeah, it's a bit easier going.
Less technology. What, got your phone to do the first moon landing, if you believe in it?
Well, yeah, this is very true.
I do believe in it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's this conspiracy theory sort of thing
that
they did it in a sort of studio.
Yeah,
I don't know where these things come up. Same with the Titanic, wasn't it? The sinking of the Titanic. They said at one point that they swapped it with the sister ship, the Olympic, because Olympic had run into something, it was in for repairs, and delayed the maiden voyage. And at the last minute, they switched ships, I should say. And I found that a bit far-fetched, especially when they went down. Bob Ballard went down and found the wreck and actually found the name on the stern. And of course, they weren't looking for the Titanic at all, were they? They were looking for a submarine at the start. The cover story was looking for the Titanic. So there's always been this sort of mystique about it, and I've been captivated with that story since I was a small boy. My dad gave me a look at a book that he got at a prize at school when he was young, and it featured the lifeboats of the Titanic, and from that moment on I was just captivated with it. It's strange, isn't it? Yeah,
no, I love it when they go down there and they sort of, a few years ago they really went right into it, and the full colour pictures and how it even looked in these days. It's amazing. How long we got before that tune?
About 5 seconds.
That's fine. We'll be back after the 10 o'clock news with the final hour here from Parc Ferme. It is Nevis Radio, live and exclusive down here for the Scottish 6 Days trial. This is Beverly Knight. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Lochaber. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene, walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free. Rain or shine, there is always something to do. Get out and enjoy all the incredible things we have to offer right here in Lochaber.
Visit a Scottish region full of wonder, from stunning mountainous landscapes to deserted sandy beaches, relaxing woodland trails to heart-racing adventure. From historic treasures to the simplest of pleasures, the view from the top, the cleanest air, hidden places and wide open spaces, unearth a breathtaking world right here in Lochaber.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Lochaber. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene.
Course, and he was quick between the sections and that, and I thought he was a bit more natural than my other son, I must admit. But it was the same. I spoke to Jimmy McRae, the 5 times British Open rally champion, and of course his son Colin McRae was world champion, but his other son Alistair, I said to Jimmy, I said, how does Alistair compare? He said, Alistair's the more natural driver. And I went, you're kidding, but I says, Alistair's never worked. But he didn't get the breaks that Colin did. Colin moved to Ford to drive the Ford Focus WRC car, and it all kicked off for then. He then went to Subaru, and then of course he won his world championship. But he always maintained, Jimmy always maintained, that Alistair was the natural rally driver. He's got the speed, and of course, if you're talking to a 5 times British Open rally champion, he knows his stuff. Yeah. So that's the way it sometimes can work. The natural skills come to certain people. Yeah. That's the way it works, isn't it?
Have you got any natural skills, Si?
I got a couple. Yeah.
What's your best skill? What's your best skill then?
DJing.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do. However, talking of skills,
can we just say you're an award-winning? Or no, you came second. Not quite an award-winning DJ, but you did pretty well.
I came second. Yeah.
But it's pretty good.
Well, it's not bad. It was an international competition, to be fair.
Yeah. No, it's across the world, exactly. Yeah. Who won it?
My friend Grace.
Grace, yeah, you know Grace, don't you?
Yeah, she's down on Heart FM.
Yeah, and she beat you?
Yeah.
Oh dear, never mind.
40 points on it.
Is that all? Is that a lot? I don't know.
No, it wasn't. It was one vote.
But this was the many different heats and different things you had to do. I know we're sort of knocking it, but it's a pretty good thing to do. You've got to be
It was a challenge.
I was going to say, I saw you several times on your challenges.
Yeah, well, these are the things you do for work, wasn't it?
You do it for love.
Talking of skills, you mentioned Dan earlier on. I would like to draw your attention to your monitor screen.
Yep.
Because this is the kind of thing that Dan can do.
Go on, Dan, make us laugh. Apparently my eyesight's not very good. I've got to stand up and I've got to move my stuff. Oh dear, here we go.
Yeah, you need to inspect the screen. That's
go on in. I can't wait for this. All I can see is John Moffat.
Probably because he's pressed the wrong button.
He couldn't push buttons on Monday. How's he coping now? Yeah, what's happening then? Nothing.
He's letting me down, hasn't he?
Oh, hang on, here we go. It's hang on. Yes, that's my name. Yeah? Was that it? Right. Okay.
Has he not achieved that?
Well, I've got my name come up. Is that what I'm looking at? Hang on, something else now. Hang on, here we go. Yeah, hang on, something else written underneath.
John Weller something.
Some guy he hid.
Is
Folks Nonce UK? I don't know.
It was something like that.
I don't know what that's.
It's very clever, whatever it was. It came out. I saw John Weller, but it was too far away for me to read. But I'm sure that'll come up well.
What did it actually say?
Hang on.
Oh, no, maybe about nonsense. Speaks nonsense all day or something, was it?
Something like that.
Oh, very good.
There you go. Anyway.
Well, at least I get paid for it. I just don't sit in a van with my feet up.
The joys of being in control of the buttons. Anyway.
Technical
Techie Dan.
Yeah.
It's one of those unsung jobs, like we're chatting about the secretary and stuff like that. You don't see them much, but as I say, it's just so much goes on to make it all work. So, there you go.
Yeah, that's right. There's always people behind the scenes. I mean, in the Scottish 6 Days, you've got likes of Fergus Gray and his team doing the results. I mean, they are never seen outside the headquarters, really.
There you go, Si. Fergus Day. That's the man you've got to speak to.
That's the guy I've got to speak to, yeah.
Write his name down.
Fergus
I'm doing
Gray.
Gray. Fergus Gray.
Not Day, Gray. Yeah, he does the results. He's the guy that makes these mobile phones. Well, he's adapted it to the Scottish 6 Days requirements because I believe it's an ACU system that they're using, Autocycle Union, based down in Rugby. And Fergus had obviously played around with it and modified it to suit. So, very interesting.
We've got the weather to do, then we'll come back and have a look at the results. Who wants to choose a tune? Do you want to? You got another tune, Mr. Moffat?
Yeah, can I have you choose a tune? We'll probably be playing it on Saturday. I'm quite intrigued by it. It's my kind of favourite record this year at this time. It's can we have Beautiful Things by Benson Boone?
Yeah.
You seen the price of records now?
Yes.
Sorry, tunes. Did I say records?
You said records. You always
what
say
is
records.
the price of records? I haven't bought
They're extortionate.
Well,
now.
rough price for the single album's probably £25 to £30 just as a plain black one.
I would have thought so. You know.
You go into your doubles, you can sometimes double that, even make it a bit more because there's the information on the gatefold sleeve. For instance, you have the gatefold sleeves where you've got limited editions. Speak to Chris Millard, who was here last year. He's on holiday at the moment. He's in Spain, I think.
Yeah.
But he's an avid collector. He buys 2 of each. One, like your programmes, he won't use at all. He just puts it in a cupboard.
I've got some vinyl still, like Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick and all that stuff, still kicking around in a cupboard somewhere at home.
Worth about 50p?
Probably. Yeah. I don't think they're worth much money, but it's the things to play them on was becoming to be a challenge. But,
I've got one.
Yeah, I've still got a deck somewhere, in the house. Yeah.
But yeah, no, say then you've got the different colours and different splatters and different editions. And what was it? Record Day was a couple of weeks ago where they go for independent shops. So yeah, no, vinyl is a big thing at the moment.
Oh,
as are cassettes.
Ah, really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Cassettes are back.
I used to have millions of them. I used to record my own, which I don't think was supposed to be legal, was it? Recording off the radio?
It's okay for personal use and personal use only.
But it wasn't used for anything else than listening to it, yeah.
Unless you've got a PRS licence.
Yeah. Of course.
Indeed.
Performing Rights Society.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of licences like we got, which costs us a lot of money a year.
Oh, I bet it does.
Anyway, we've got some Benson Boone lined up. Do you want some weather?
Yeah, I think we'll do weather. Benson Boone ads, come back to John and the results.
Today's weather on Nevis Radio. Brought to you by Thistle Access.
Wednesday, the 8th of May, mainly dry this morning with some sunshine. That's gone away at the moment. Rain will reach the Western Isles around midday. Yeah, it's feeling that way now, spreading to the west and north in the afternoon. Remaining dry elsewhere, but cloudy, quite warm in the east. 16 degrees centigrade, 61 Fahrenheit. This evening will be cloudy with rain spreading from the east. Rain heavy at times is continuing across the west, but dry weather developing as we get into early morning. It's going to feel quite mild at 11 degrees centigrade, 52 Fahrenheit. A quick look at Thursday. A cloudy day across the west and north with patchy rain. Dry elsewhere with some brightness breaking through and a chance of some showers later. Warm in the east, coastal mist and a maximum high tomorrow. Slightly cooler today at 15 degrees centigrade, 59 Fahrenheit.
That was today's weather on Nevis Radio. Brought to you by Thistle Access.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Lochaber. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene, walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free. Rain or shine, there is always something to do. Get out and enjoy all the incredible things we have to offer right here in Lochaber.
Visit a Scottish region full of wonder, from stunning mountainous landscapes to deserted sandy beaches, relaxing woodland trails to heart-racing adventure. From historic treasures to the simplest of pleasures, the view from the top, the cleanest air, hidden places and wide open spaces, unearth a breathtaking world right here in Lochaber.
You will never be stuck for things to do and places to see throughout Lochaber. Experience the abundance of history, immerse yourself in a movie scene, walk within our great outdoors and see our wildlife running free.
This is day 3 of the Scottish 6-day trial.
Yes, day 3 of the Scottish 6 days trial. Hump day, as they call it. And not got the hump is number 1 this year, Gavin Cairns, now living up in Inverness, but originally from Fort William. Now, Gavin, you're carrying the number 1 plate, so you're leading the trial for half an hour this week, and then it got taken away from you, which you must be bitterly disappointed.
Yeah, that's my 5 minutes of fame over, John. Never happened to me again. Well, it's the only time you'll ever see a one beside my name.
Well, that's it. Now, Gavin, were you born in Fort William?
Yeah, originally from Fort William. Lived here all my life. Just moved to Inverness for business reasons and stuff like that. But obviously back down all the time on my bike and things like that, you know.
And you probably still have family down here, I would imagine.
Yeah, I've got a lot of family down here. My uncle owns Nevis Bakery, Archie the Baker. You've heard about his legendary steak pie. Yeah. So yeah, I've got family, Archie and Paul, who's rode the trial many times as well. They're all from here.
Now, you're involved in business as a rough casting specialist using K-Rend, one of the brands. Tell us a little bit about that. Did you serve your time with anybody down here, or did you just pick it up yourself?
No, my whole family were in the rendering business. My father, my uncle, so there's a long line of them. Then I moved to Inverness, and we carried on with a friend of mine's uncle, and I was finishing my time up in Inverness. Then obviously decided to go self-employed, go out mowing, and we got into this machine rendering, which was quite a new thing at the time. So we got a bit of a jump on everybody.
You've got a lot of people working for you now, though?
Yeah, we've got about 21 men floating about different places. We cover most of Scotland.
And you cover new builds as well as do rendering on older properties?
Yeah, it's mainly all the large house builders we work for, like your Barrett's, Springfield Properties, all the big house builders, Dundara Homes. It's also volume sites we do. It's all that kind of stuff. Along with private and residential stuff.
Great. And you've got your one of your daughter's young lads with you riding round, Kyle Neal, yeah?
Yeah, incredible. He's only been on the bike 18 months, and here he is doing his first Scottish, and he's having a crack at everything, in on time both nights.
Obviously, living up in Inverness, you joined the Inverness District Club. You were obviously a member of Lochaber before that, but how's Kyle getting on? Is he enjoying it?
Loving it. That's a hard week. He's tired. Not as tired as me at 50 years old, but he's tired. But he's gritting his teeth and he's keeping going. So can't ask for much more than that, can you?
Now, I met you up at Regmore's A&E accident and emergency just a couple of weeks before this, because you had damaged your ribs a wee bit, didn't you?
Yeah, it was funny, John. I remember meeting you that day. You were both in, weren't we? Yeah, I came off. I was having a wee practice, and I came off at one of the sections, and I cracked a couple of ribs. So I've been kind of nursing that injury down this week. I had a bit of an off yesterday as well on the Ugan in the moor. So I had another bang yesterday as well. So it's just a case of self-preservation now and trying to get to the end.
And of course, there's connections with our Mr. Sedgwick through your wife. Is that right?
Yeah, my wife worked with David and Mr. Sedgwick. He's very close with Archie as well. She worked with David in Belford for about 14, 16 years.
Belford's an amazing place. It looks absolutely dated and run down on the outside, and yet on the inside it's really quite plush, isn't it?
Yeah. As I say, it's good to have it in Lochaber, isn't it? And I think they're actually spending money on it now. There's some funding we put aside for it, so it's long overdue though.
Time there was a new one built.
I would say so, and I'll render it.
Oh, there you go. That's ideal. So anyway, have a good day today, Gavin. It's good to see you here, and thank you very much for helping sponsor the Scottish 6 Days Trial. And of course, you're one of the major sponsors of the Highland Classic next month at Alvey Estate.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. That's more sort of my level. So yeah, really looking forward to that, John. Yeah, it's a good trial. We always look forward to the Highland Classic and being involved, sponsorship and being part of the event. It's a great 2 days. We always seem to get the weather as well.
Well, anyway, I'll just have a quick chat with Kyle. He's checking his tyre pressure now. Anybody you'd like to say a shout out to this morning, Kyle?
Big shout out to Gavin Kearns for getting me round so far. It's been a tough couple of days so far. Gavin's kept me going and me motivated, so it's been good so far.
And anybody else?
Yeah, the girls for coming round and supporting, and Martin Murphy for driving them round too, and all the rest of the support crews as well with the riders around us. So all helping us out, and Alan McMaster as well. Yesterday he helped me out big time. Had a rear puncher, so he helped me out.
Brilliant. Well, anyway, have a good day today, Kyle.
Thank you very much, John.
That's it. Kyle Neal, number 2, and Gavin Cairns, number 1.
And thank you to Gavin for the breakfast too. He's around with me and Kyle all week, so he's helping us out and giving us a bit of advice and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, Stephen loves his Scottish 6 Days. No two ways about it.
He's doing well. He's a good rider.
Well, fair enough. Anyway, they're having fun. So anyway, thanks very much, Gavin. Gavin Cairns of Gavin Cairns Rough Casting Limited, Inverness. Use the K-Rend system. As I explained, all that technical stuff to us there, so that's good.
And it's supplying our breakfast.
And supplying our breakfast as well, yes. So thank you very much, Gavin, for that. It keeps us going.
Very nice indeed. Right, it's time to catch up on these scores. We've been saying we're going to do it for the last hour. We never have. So.
I can see that you've pinned them down with a Nevis Radio mug. Good, because the wind's got up a wee bit.
Then brisky,
not whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah, and you were shouting out Dan, and it was actually Dad you were shouting out. I thought, they needed the van keys for something, but I've got them back again. So anyway, the scores on the doors for the 2024 Scottish 6 Days Trial from the Tuesday, which was the second day of the Scottish 6 Days, the 7th of May. Tonight's scores will be up on the SSDT.org website, as usual. They're going back to that now. First of the Scottish riders, Gary MacDonald, who still rates himself as a Kinloch-Leven man, now living up in Parc, but Gary has come so close to winning the Scottish 6 Days Trial on several occasions. Been on that podium quite a few times now, and it's a trial that he has always wanted to win. To him, it's a local event. He's on 7 March Lost. Jamie Galloway from Fife, riding the TRRS, a World Championship contender now is Jamie, up-and-coming riders. He's on 17 March on the 125 TRRS, imported by Steve Saunders. Ben Dignan on the Monteza 4RT, Lochaber man from Roybridge. Ben is the son of the Scottish 6 Days Clerk of the Course, David Dignan, on 20 March Lost. Duncan McCall from Les Mahago in Lanarkshire on 22 March Lost. They're into civil engineering. Malcolm Summers, who's an army rider and a member of the British Army, he's on 42 March Lost in 5th position. 6th position, Callum Murphy, works for SSE from Ballachulish. His father, Tommy, was a rider at one time, doesn't ride so much now. On 58 March Lost, Lewis Byron from Milton-o-Campsie, just outside Glasgow, on the north side. Lewis is in 7th position on 65 March Lost. Alan Ian McMaster, have you just heard him mentioned by Kyle Neal there, who'd helped him out with a puncture. He's in 8th position on 85, as is 85 March Lost Robbie Weir, originally from Haddington in East Lothian, now living up in Kinloch-Leven, in 9th position. And we have Gareth Palmer, Lochte Lodges. Gareth is riding round with his dad. He's in 10th position on 92 March Lost. Then it brings us on to the main trial itself, the overall positions this year for the Scottish 6 Days Trial from the Tuesday, 2nd day of the Scottish 6 Days. Dan Peace on the Sherco, he's in 1st position at the moment, carrying the yellow number board, so you'll see him out and about today. He's on 3 March Lost. Jack Price, former winner of the Scott Trial on more than one occasion. Jack, I think, is on a Vertigo, and he's on 4, as is Dan's brother, Jack. He's on 3rd position, also on 4. Dougie Lampkin, 14 times winner of this trial. Dougie first won 30 years ago, 1994, is that right? Well, 30 years ago, Dougie Lampkin won his first Scottish 6 Days Trial. He's in 4th position on 7 March Lost, tying at the moment with Gary MacDonald, our local lad, in 5th position overall on the Birkett Scorpa. Harry Hemingway on the Beta in 6th position on 10 March Lost. Richard Sadler on the Vertigo from Leyburn in North Yorkshire, member of the Richmond Motor Club Limited. He's in 11 March down. Michael Brown, a guy that almost won the Scottish, and he is in 8th position on the 4RT Monteza on 11. Toby Martin, newcomer to this trial, but not a newcomer to the World Championships, does very well. He's also on the Monteza 4RT, and he's on 13 March Lost. And in 10th position, Thomas Minter on 14 March. What we'll hope to do is maybe sort of zero in on the lady riders as they're progressing through the trial, but we'll do that tomorrow, because obviously there's probably a ding-dong battle going on between Laia Sants, who's 14 times World Women's Trials champion, with Emma Bristol, who has 9 world titles under her belt.
Ding-dong.
Ding-dong.
Who's that? Leslie Phillips, wasn't it?
That's right, Ding Dong. Oh, Ding Dong.
Yes,
that's right. He was in the Carry On films, wasn't he?
He's in a lot of stuff, yeah. Carry On Doctors.
Yeah, I quite liked him, actually. I thought he was quite funny. Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, who are you talking about? Yeah, go back into your 70s and 80s TV.
Yeah, Sid James and Barbara Windsor and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Hawtrey, what was the guy? Hawtrey.
Yeah, Charles
Hawtrey, that's right.
Yes.
Go back into history. That shows you how old I am.
See, the Carry On films, I just love them, even now.
Oh,
they're terrible, but I love them.
Yeah, they are. They're very cheesy, very, what's the word for it? Close to the bone, isn't it? Near to the bone?
Well, seaside humour, we'll talk about that on Monday.
Innuendo.
Innuendos, yes. Oh, matron.
Oh, matron and all that stuff, yeah. Hattie Jakes, that was the other one.
Yeah.
She was married to John LeMessurier.
John LeMessurier,
who was in
Dad's Army.
Dad's Army.
Yeah.
Strange relationship, though.
Yes, it was very strange.
Because she kept her boyfriend in the same house
I think they were both doing,
It was
Joan
strange.
Sims,
yeah,
the main one.
Joan Sims, yeah. Very good actress as well.
Yeah, no, very good. And I mean, a lot of these were classically trained.
Yeah, they were. And what was the other one? Fraser. There was a... Oh, I can't remember her first name, but she was at the same time.
Liz
Fraser, that's
she did,
right.
she only did a few, didn't she?
Yeah. Great times.
So there you are, Simon. Your sort of stuff.
British movies.
Wonderful.
I didn't realise you were a fan.
Valerie Leon, she was the very buxom model one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, see, they're all coming back to me
Still
now.
around,
She's still doing stuff.
Yeah, still doing stuff.
See? So, not a carry-on person?
No, not really. Police Academy, that's where I was at.
That's all right.
I like the one Carry On Up the Khyber.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was...
That Terry, Terry, what's his name?
Yeah, Roy Castle was in that.
Roy
as well.
Castle.
And it was... that was the one where they had tiffin in the afternoon.
Yeah, tiffin every afternoon. Yes. Got to have tiffin, shut the door.
That's right. Bit of fancy, bit of tiffin.
Yeah.
But it's actually like a chalky biscuit sort of thing. I think actually Mr. Sedgwick brought in some tiffin at one point.
Were there going to be treats on Friday, I
yeah,
understand?
well, I'm sure it was
Treats
tiffin
on
that his wife put together. Maybe it was him, I can't remember. But yeah, tiffin cropped into the conversation some years ago.
You never know where we're going to go down here.
Yeah, you never know at all.
That's the carry-on period where Zach could just keep on with that. Oh.
So Philip Crosby says, this sounds like there's two old men chewing the fat and reminiscing.
Oh, Phil
you're not
Crosby.
far off it. You're not far off it, mate.
Yeah, I know Phil. I'm trying to remember which part of the world he's from. I'm sure he's Yorkshire-based, this is Phil. His son used to ride around with my first son some years ago. Yeah. Good time. He normally comes on occasionally on Facebook and puts something on, or maybe he comments on something that I've commented on. Great fun.
We've got a busy Thursday coming up. We've been working out.
Yeah, a lot of people coming in on Thursday, so I'm glad that we got Gaskas in with France this morning to discuss the technical bits and pieces of the new 2025 edition, which was debuted here on Sunday, because tomorrow's got to be quite a busy day. Here's Therma and Louise coming back in with a convertible Saab.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I don't know if they're listening to us at all. They should be listening to us. They should be tuned into Nevis Radio.
There's not many of them around. I
96.8.
quite like that. It's a different type of car.
Yeah, I think that was the model that they were just going on to with General Motors before they sold it off.
Are they going to flash their headlights at us?
Are you listening to us in the car? Are you listening to us in the car? Yeah, that's good. I think they are anyway.
I don't know. They're just
Who knows?
nonchalantly walking in. Look at them, scuttling in like naughty girls.
It's okay, you're quite safe.
John, you've got the county wrong. Lancashire.
Lancashire?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, did I say Yorkshire?
Yeah.
I always get
that's going to be
Lancs.
trouble.
That's
Lancs
dangerous,
and
that
Yorks.
is. Even I know that.
Right, well, one's the White Rose county, another one's the Red Rose. Now, let me get this right. Red Rose is Lancs and White Rose is Yorkshire. Is that right?
It's like juggling with knives, isn't it?
I'm saying nothing. I'm keeping out of this one.
The only reason I can remember that is that Jeff Smith rode with the Red Rose of Lancs on his crash helmet. I think that was the idea, anyway.
Terry Scott, that's what I was thinking of.
Terry Scott.
Terry
that's right.
Scott.
Terry Scott.
See where
and
my
Hugh-
brain's still at.
Terry Scott and Hugh Lloyd. They used to be a double act on
Did
the
they?
telly.
Terry and June used to be.
Terry and June. Oh, that was after
Yeah,
Terry
that was
and
after.
Hugh. Yeah. Charlie Drake.
He wasn't in Carry On. Yes, he did do. No, he didn't do Carry On, did he?
No, but I think he did.
Bernard Cribbins was in one.
Bernard Cribbins was in it. Yeah.
Yeah. As was Macy off of Steptoe and Son, the bigger one. He did the Carry On Screaming.
That's right. He did.
Terrible
Harry H. Corbett.
There you go.
Wow.
We can carry on with this.
I'm quite good at that sort of stuff, haven't I?
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
What a carry on SSDT. We can do it.
Oh, they could do that, couldn't they? That would be
Indeed.
brilliant.
Right, you were talking about tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, we didn't get
We've got
anywhere.
a few
did we?
guests coming in. We've got gentlemen from Zurich coming in, Bernie Schreiber. I'm trying to think who else is coming in now.
Oh, we got
Being
John
in
Hughes is coming in.
Yeah, I've got on Carry On mode, haven't we? Who
Oh,
else
that's
now?
terrible.
Who else is there?
No, there's somebody else. You definitely got somebody else coming in, you said.
Well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow on that
I'll
one.
have to write it
You'll
down.
have to stay tuned tomorrow from
You can't
7
remember what's
a.m.
happening tomorrow. We remember what's happened 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's the
See,
problem.
old man syndrome,
That's
is.
the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
What did you have your tea last night? Can't remember.
I couldn't know. What did I have for tea? I can't remember. They'll upset Mrs. W, then I'll be in terrible trouble.
Oh, dear.
We're into the last 28 minutes of this show this morning. If you want to be in contact with us either today or tomorrow, maybe pose a question for us tomorrow, then do get in contact with us. Various methods you can do that.
Oh, yeah, that's me now, isn't it? Right, yes, you can contact the studio 01397 706 100 by phone. You can also WhatsApp us on 01397 706 100, including voice notes. Email the studio at studio@nevisradio.co.uk. You can also get us on Nevis Radio Official on Facebook, and the same on YouTube, where you can watch our live feed and use the live chat box, as Philip from Lancashire is doing at the moment.
There, see? We're calling us old men talking, which he's not wrong, he's not wrong.
Mark Coombs is coming in tomorrow as well, I've just remembered that. He's doing little videos of his own. He's from the Isle of Wight, and he's quite entertaining.
He's a character. That's the one.
That's the guy.
He was here yesterday.
Yeah, he's up from there.
Had his wig and hat on.
That's right. See you, Jimmy.
Does he think is that appropriate? I don't know. He got a lot of attention.
Well, they used to sell a lot of them during Scottish.
I know.
In fact, I remember one year Malcolm Rathmo was on the parade in an old Bultaco, and he had one of them on because he was well known. His blonde hair stuck out below his crash helmet when he rode, so he put on a "See You, Jimmy" thing under his crash helmet.
I'm going to insult everybody now, but I always called them taffy hats. I know it's totally a different country altogether, but growing up, I always knew them as taffy hats.
Taffy hats.
But there you go. Probably not allowed to say that word anymore. Is that a slang word for a Welshman?
Yeah,
I don't want to get into trouble.
Jock's a Scotsman, isn't it? I mean, I don't get offended when people say, "Are you a jock?"
Some people do.
And I go, "Well, I'm actually John," but it's the same thing, you know, Jock, John, and that. But at school, when people tried to push jock onto me, I ignored them. Hey jock, and I just ignored them. But so I accepted Moff at school. They said Moff. So quite a lot of my pals knew me as Moff at the school, and funnily enough, that's what Nigel Burkett calls me all the time. Yeah. But he's got nicknames for everybody. In fact, he never referred to Martin Lampkin as Martin. It was H, because Martin's first name was Harold Martin Lampkin, and he actually saw him doing it. He went, H, like that, and Martin turned round. It was weird because most people shout Martin, you know, but not Burks. He came out with H, and that was it. It stuck.
That's what it's about. What you can call people these days, it's changed. The whole world has changed, and
Oh yeah, you've got to be very careful what you say now. Yeah, that's right.
But what do we say here? No offence is intended or implied.
That's right.
Is that a good disclaimer?
I think that's a good disclaimer.
We'll get away with that one.
Yeah.
Right, where have we got to go then? We're all caught up there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we can play a tune.
I fancy a tune.
Sounds like a good idea.
What sort of tune do I fancy? I fancy something a bit different. I don't know. Play My Faith.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
What was the one she did with the Italian bloke?
What, Jackson?
Oh, here we go.
Again?
We're back to
No, not that one. No, he was a songwriter, and no, he put together the melodies for a lot of tunes, and I've forgotten his name now. Guajaro. It sounded like Guajaro, something. I'm telling you, I used to feature it on my Friday nights. Mofster's favourite tunes.
I had an idea for you yesterday, John.
What's that?
Since you mentioned Jean likes the Italian singer that we played yesterday,
Jack Savaretti.
Yeah, why don't you make a bike out of spaghetti just to impress her?
Blimey. My culinary delights are not exactly extended to...
I know, but you should see her face when you drive past her.
Oh, these are the jokes, folks.
See, you pay your licence fee for what? Not us.
Nah. Anyway, right, Paloma Faith, what are we picking?
That song about music.
Something about make your own kind of music.
Yeah, make your own kind of music.
Right, we can do that.
That sounds good to me.
And I'll let you two regroup, and then we can go from there, shall we?
Yeah, we have digressed. I've got to be honest, apologies if we're not talking about bikes and we've gone on to carry on the mode.
Part of your bike, it's the only part which touches the ground. And when you get that perfect combination, it's hard to beat. The Michelin tyres have been perfect for me. I've been running the DH22 on the front and the DH34 on the back, and it's a really good combination between grip and rolling speed. It's hard to find a tyre which has both the grip and the durability and not wear out. It means less tyre changing, less putting air in your tyres, less putting tyre sealant in your tyres, and it's just easier for me as a professional. It just does what I want it to do. It's not doing anything funny, and they've been durable. I've ridden them on some really rough terrain and I haven't had any punctures yet, but to last long as well, it's ideal really.
Our mountains, glens and waterways are some of the best in Scotland, if not the world. Breathtaking views and awe-inspiring landscape, adventures for us all. Come and explore our water and mountains. It will make you feel alive.
She's absolutely fantastic. Mr. Moffat's wandering into Parc Ferme to catch up with rider something 20, I imagine.
Yeah, round about that now. We're up to the mid-teens at the moment. We've got a rider here, one of the local lads to me, Stuart Clerk, who's ridden. This is his 7th attempt at the Scottish 6 Days Trial. Stuart rides under the Inverness and District Motorcycle Club banner, and his father Chips is well known in the trials arena in Scotland. How are you enjoying your 7th Scottish, Stuart?
So far, so good, John. Yes, Monday morning was a bit entertaining with it being so slippy and the sections were really greasy, but yesterday was a far better day for me.
It settled back a bit, and you're in quite a good position today, sort of number-wise, aren't you?
Yes, again, it should be pretty grippy, and the line should be there or thereabouts today for us.
Now, you ride regularly, just about every weekend, or as many weekends as you can. You still a motor mechanic?
Yeah, still a motor mechanic, still at Clawdon service station, still working away to fund my hobby of trials.
Right. And how do you like the TRRS? You used to ride gas, but now into the TRRS. You prefer this bike?
In some ways, yes, and in some ways, the Gasser was obviously a bit better. I mean, you missed the 6th gear on the road for this event, but other than that, the TRS is absolutely perfect for any other event.
Now, I detect a smell of wintergreen. Are you using some sort of ointment at the moment?
No, that's Mr. Andy Rose over here that's using that. I'm not on that stuff yet.
Okay, good. Well, I'll have a quick word with Andy, so thanks very much, Stuart.
No bother, John. Cheers.
Anybody you'd like to shout out to this morning?
Just the sponsors that have helped me along the way. Gavin Cairns, Rough Casting and Leaving Homes have helped me with tyres and gear, and much thanks to them, because without their support, the trial would be a lot harder to do.
And any thanks to anybody, like your mum, dad, Katie, etc.?
Oh, all of them as well, you know, they're always there to help.
Brilliant, thanks, Stuart. Andy, you're smelling a wintergreen, so you've obviously rubbing yourself with something. So, Andy Rose, I should say, did I call you Andy Green? No, Andy Rose from Livingston, West Lothian, is that right?
That's buddy, that's us, yep.
Yeah, what is it you do for a living now?
I own a tool shop.
Yeah.
So still tools, but yep, doing pretty good.
Is that with your father, Colin?
Yeah, he helps out. He helps out. Van driver now, so it's good.
Brilliant. Is he sort of semi-retired?
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. So
everything okay with the gas?
Yeah, loving it. A lot easier in the sections than the 4RT, but missing the 4RT for the road, like.
I bet you, and the moors.
100%. Oh yeah, aye. But no, it's a lot easier in the sections. Not getting as tired, so it's perfect.
Brilliant, Andy. Well, so have a good day today.
Thanks again.
Okay, that's Andy Rose, number 16, and obviously number 17. We just spoken to Stuart Clerk, and he's just away to check something before he goes. He's got a few minutes to go. Let's see if there's any. Do you want anybody else done, John?
Well, talk about the difference in the bikes. He said one bike's better for the road, one better for the moor. Why is that? Is that the weight of it? The weight
well, just
drives,
a different way they're set up. The 4RT is exceptionally good on the moors. They're quick bikes, and they have a lot of grunt about them. As have to two-strokes, of course, but it's just the four-stroke is a bit less, is a bit more forgiving on the road, because being a four-stroke fuel-injected bike, the one thing about the 4RT was that the theory was you could never blow one up because they've got a built-in rev limiter, and you can give them a good old caning on the road to keep up with traffic. I mean, these bikes don't go quick on the road anyway, and the 4RT was particularly good on that, and also on the moors. John Shurt, who was the gas importer, was on Trial Tube just a couple of weeks ago saying that he really wanted to ride a 4RT in the Scottish, but obviously rides a gas, but he really appreciate getting out here on a 4RT just to experience the freedom on the moors when he would get going. So that's funny that he mentioned that just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, so it's something you as a bystander or an observer, you just don't really get into. You don't understand the difference, I don't think.
No, I've just got to catch somebody just before they go up. Is that okay?
You carry on.
Yeah. Rider number 13, I'll just catch one of the local riders. He's ridden quite a few times now. Alan Ian McMaster, local man from Fort William. How many times have you done the Scottish now, Alan?
Yeah, this will be the sixth.
Sixth time, yeah. You took a bit of time out at one time and then came back to trials.
7 years out of the bikes, yeah.
So you're quite enjoying riding the beat around?
Brilliant, aye. Better than last year, anyway.
Well, what happened last year?
We changed just about every electrical part on the bike. So, sure, touch wood.
No problem.
All good, aye, brilliant, aye.
And what do you do for a living now?
I'm a machine operator. Drive 360 machines. So.
Who's that for?
Corrie Construction.
Oh yeah, same as your dad?
Yeah, all over Scotland. And England as well sometimes.
Cool. Anyway, so all the best for today's run, Alan.
Aye, fingers crossed, it'll be a good day.
Okay, that's Alan Ian McMaster, rider number 13 here at the Scottish 6 Days Trial 2024.
All happening out there. There we go, I've lost myself. Oh, it's terrible when you can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, did you have a bit of a connection problem again, did you?
Yeah, I stood up and there's there you go, back in again.
Well, I didn't out there because I kept away from that. Oh, dearie dear, there's an ambulance just gone past there making south.
Oh, not good.
Hope that's not something bad, but there we go. Great guys, these ambulance fellas. I had a right chat with one the other night when, about a week or two ago, when I was up at Belford. It was late at night. I was going back in with some equipment, some clothes and stuff for my wife who had been taken ill, and I was having a chat with the ambulance driver, and he said, "What, are you just down on holiday?" Are you? I said, "Well, yeah, I'm down really for the Scottish 60. Oh, you're down for the trials, are you?" I said, "Yeah. What are you doing that?" I said, "Well, I'm actually a guest presenter on Nevis Radio," and he says, "I recognised your voice when you started speaking. That's why I conversed with you, because I thought I knew you." He said, "But it's your voice I've heard," and I've had that a few times. We had a new neighbour come a few years ago at the back, Innes Morrison. I think he was working for Maui at the time, and he appeared and I was chatting away to him, and he said, "Do you do bikes?" I said, "Yeah, I've got more bikes. It's trials." He said, "Well, do you do the 6 days?" I went, "Long time ago." And he chatted away and he said, "I actually know your voice." I said, "Do you ever listen to Nevis Radio?" "Oh, all the time when I'm down at Fort William." I went, "Right." And he went, "Oh, you're on during the trials week." I went, "Yeah, that's right." So it's funny that people recognise my voice, but they don't recognise me. So, but that was really probably at the time where we didn't do the video side of things, or the filming side of things. So it was all done by the radio as opposed to.
So we play records and we do video. What is going on with you?
Tunes and what do you call? What do you call that then? What's that thing?
We're going
there?
Streaming, the camera work.
Streaming, well, camera, yeah, not video.
Who's got your VHS?
We're actually just about to get rid of a television that's not been used for years. We watch telly in the back room, never watch it in the front room.
Not watch telly? You're not watching the telly?
There is something below the telly which takes, it'll be a VHS unit. But the other one was...
Back to the 80s with John Moffat.
What do you call the other one? CDs? DVDs, yeah. There's a DVD player and a VHS player and there's someone else, and they're all getting scrapped. So we'll have to try and recycle them somewhere. So don't like just chucking things in bins. You've got to recycle as much as you can nowadays.
Repurpose if you can, yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting blustery.
Wind's getting up. It's getting the wind
getting
up.
Blustery.
I know this happened last year about this time.
Yeah. I think we're going to anchor the thing down before I leave tonight.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
you've got a roll plug missing.
Yeah, Dan won't be happy, but we'll just stay behind and do that very quickly afterwards.
That'll do fine.
It'd be worth doing. Where are we time-wise? Oh, my goodness,
10:47.
12 minutes to, just about, yeah, not bad at all. We just have a look at the route, I guess, for one final time this morning.
We can do. The route today, Wednesday the 8th of May, 2024, the Scottish 6 Days Trial. First sections were out at Callart, inaccessible, and then we had Lower Mamore. First rider was there at 8:40, three sections there. Schoolhouse Falls, 2 there. Greymare's Tail, which we saw on the streaming, 2 sections at Group Day. First rider was there at 9:30. Then over to the old favourite 2 sections on Pipeline. That'll probably be higher up the hill than the Pre-65 was doing last weekend. First rider there at 9:40. Then over to the inaccessible groups F, G, H and I, which is Lochield Moor, Lochield Cottage, Carnderg and Bradlegg. The first rider at Bradlegg at 11:25. Bradlegg is an area which has been well used by the Scottish 6 Days for many, many years. Then it's the fuel stop. I'm trying to remember where they said that was now. Oh, just before Achentee. So it's quite late on the fuel stop and rest stop today. And then they do the 2 subs at Achentee, just opposite or just near the Achentee Inn, I think it's called, and then they'll be there at 12:30, the first riders. Then 4 sections on the Ben itself, the lower slopes of Ben Nevis. 12:50 the first rider calls into Group K, and then Group L, Glen Nevis itself, 2 sections, first rider there at 1:30, and that is the actual route for the day.
And while we've got the routes up, a quick look at tomorrow, so we can do that.
Tomorrow's Thursday. Now, I've got a funny feeling that Thursday is what they call, it's the road run day. They used to call it the road race day, but you're not allowed to race on the public highway, so they made sure that was never put back in the programme, and quite rightly so. It's the road day, where there's a lot of sections to look at, and they're all basically, apart from Torban, the first one, they're all accessible by the spectators. So it's a very spectator-friendly group set of sections tomorrow. So Torban kicks it off, then the Mood, which is right at the side of the road. Ranachan, I don't know very well at all. It's 4 sections there, so that's quite interesting. 2 at Boathouse, 2 further at Rochefin, which are at the side of the road, but it's pretty difficult to get parked there. Glenuig, there's a section there at Glenuig. That's just off the road. They go off into a stream to the left, and then they come back onto the road just at the top of the hill before they drop down to WD's. Now that one, WD's, what that stands for is Willie Dalling, who was the clerk of the course, who sadly died at, I think, about age 63, who was clerk of the course for many years at the Scottish 6 Days. He took over from Norman Edgar. 2 sections at Willie Dalling's section, WD's. Then there's the rest stop before they go over to Lawdale and Lawdale Cottage, and then Camas-na-Crois. That's the long, loose section, 2 sections up the side of the hillside at Camas-na-Crois. Then over to Mealnameach, 2 sections there, and then Kilmaloo, an old favourite there, 2 sections, and then Lochandoir at 3 sections there in the afternoon. First rider will appear there just at back at 2 o'clock. So that's the run tomorrow, which is all very much road-based, so there's not much off-road. But that's the route that takes you round from Lochailart area. And I realised many years ago, I was going out there with my father and a couple of friends. I think it was Richard Thompson that was in the car at the time. And I said something about the road. He said, well, this road didn't exist before 1966. So it's quite a late road, as it were. And I said, well, how did they do the Devil's Staircase? He said, well, they came in the old Drove Road, which I now know locally is called the Coffin Road. And the Devil's Staircase is part of the Coffin Road. And we did some filming there a few years ago for, what was it, Paul Merton's great Grand Tours of Scotland's Lochs series, and they actually asked me on behalf of the club to do a little bit of filming, so I actually had to ride up and down the Devil's Staircase about 20 times. They used about 5 minutes of it, but it was quite interesting because it just brought that element of the Scottish 6 Days into it. And of course they also did some filming at Inverailet House, the former residence of Mrs Cameron Head, who was a great supporter of the Scottish 6 Days, and of course that was the secret house that the commandos used in the Second World War, and they did a lot of training before Akhnakari was made public, because they wanted the enemy to know that, you know, Britain was serious, and we're training up all these guys, very brave people, the commandos. And of course, but the first commando section was actually based at Inverell House. It's a bit sad because it's gone into dilapidations now, but it's an absolutely beautiful house, or it would be in its day. But the army took that over in I think it was 1939 or whatever, whenever the outbreak of war, and they've kept it very secret. You couldn't get near the place. It was, you know, very well defended. Nobody could just sort of walk around there if they wanted. So that was it. So it was quite interesting, that whole area, steeped with history.
As is this area, actually, the whole
area.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Speen Bridge is where the Commander Memorial is, and of course, that's where they got off the train and made them run with full pack all the way to Akhnakari House, which was something else, you know.
That's not a short journey either.
Damn right it's not.
Damn right, man. Damn right, boy. So that's what's happening tomorrow, and we'll be down here live and exclusive from 7 o'clock. Follow us all the way through. We're on YouTube. If you want to do catch-up, then you can do that straight away. I think it almost uploads immediately. Is that right, Si?
It's kind of available about sort of 10 minutes after, but to be honest, you're better to wait a couple of hours, because then you get a better quality picture.
Yeah, I was trying to work that out the other day. What do they do? Does it reprocess it, or how does it work?
It puts it through what they call standard definition these days, and then it has to remaster it. Even though we've put it in HD, it kind of has to redo stuff to put it in higher quality.
Right, and I know on day one, I think we dropped out of a couple of countries because of copyright on the music or something like that.
Yeah, just due to us sort of being a bit rusty.
It's the way it works, though. It is. I say that's why we have to be really careful. That's when we've got these little in-ad commercials, we call them, while the music's playing.
I got caught out myself with YouTube before putting something on, and it was copyright music.
Yeah, it is the music. It's just electronic. It's technically monitored, I guess.
It was just some trial guru stuff, and of course you got to use copyright-free music if you're going to do that. But I was a bit naive with the whole thing at the time, so I've not done so much of that.
That's why that happens. I know Dan's got a track up to the news. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah. You got about 50 seconds before that's good to go.
Well, I'm going to thank Mr. Moffat for another great day. Wednesday.
No, thank you.
It's all done for us. Deborah's been on camera out the back doing what she does. Dan's in the van doing so much stuff. He's one of the busiest and hardest working person down here. Someone back in the studio just sits down eating bacon rolls and biscuits. And I'm John Wellaby, back with you 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, live and exclusive on your Nevis Radio. How was that?
Such a grovel.
Well, he's got to drill some holes in the ground in it, so I've got to be nice to him.
Fair play. We're doing our bit. We'll be back tomorrow from 7 a.m. as per usual. If you do want to get in touch, you can get us that way. studio@nevisradio.co.uk, and we can deal with it tomorrow morning. Or I say you can have a look on our social media at Nevis Radio Official and leave us some details there, and we'll pick it up tomorrow as well.
And thanks to David Green too for sending us those images earlier on as well.
Yeah, big thanks to David for that.
David. Sorry, David.
And we'll do it all again tomorrow.
Can't wait.
The tyre is such an important part of your bike. It's the only part which touches the ground. And when you get that perfect combination, it's hard to beat. The Michelin tyres have been perfect for me. I've been running the DH22 on the front and the DH34 on the back, and it's a really good combination between grip and rolling speed. It's hard to find a tyre which has both the grip and the durability and not wear out. It means less tyre changing, less putting air in your tyres, less putting tyre sealant in your tyres, and it's just easier for me as a professional. It just does what I want it to do. It's not doing anything funny, and they've been durable. I've ridden them on some really rough terrain and I haven't had any punctures yet, but to last long as well, it's ideal really.
Our mountains, glens and waterways